Good, good. Okay. Everything is functioning-ish, you know, as much as it can. Let's post all this bullshit social media bullshit, which is bullshit. And then close it all down and not have to worry. Okay, excellent. Hello, Doom Octopus. And hello, Xanatos. Okay, cool. Yeah, the audio's coming through. Good, good, good. Oh. How is everybody this fine Saturday? This Saturday? Yes, it is Saturday. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all well. You've all been eating right. You're wrapped up warm because it's cold. Hey, Pyro. That was weird. I wanted to cough and yawn at the same time, but only the yawn happened. That was peculiar. And you needed to know that, of course. Can't complain, did you? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I woke up very stupidly late today, so I'm just a bit out of it. Hey, Fallout Boy. But yeah, so going to be streaming some Deathwatch today because I kind of like it. It's crap in a lot of ways, but also it's kind of good in a lot of ways as well. It's a funny game. It's actually dirt cheap right now. It's like £1.80, I think, on Humble Store. So if you like what you see, then it's relatively cheap right now. And for £1.80, you can't really complain. For its original price, which was like 19 quid, yeah, fuck off. That was way too expensive. But its current price is all right. It's crap yet enjoyable. Yeah. It's very basic, is I think the problem, because it's a mobile game, and lots of the UI is fucking terrible. Like, okay, I want to go to another Space Marine. How do I do that? You can't. You have to like back out and then go like this, whereas there should be something to just scroll between, but there just isn't. It's just it's just not very good. Hey, Nodos, Manimal, and Frostgun. Shit. Excuse me for 1 second. I knocked something behind the monitor and must retrieve it. Jurgen is bae. Yes, Jurgen is the greatest of baes. Right, is Jurgen okay? Jurgen is okay. He is fine. Where's your better half? Well, she just came in for a second. She's not feeling particularly well today, so thought this would be a good opportunity to do this kind of game, because this isn't really something Snipe is like a huge fan of these kind of games. Whereas I like them a lot more, so it's fine. But yeah, no, Jurgen is absolutely fine. Everyone is fine. See, look, Jurgen, he's totally fine. He's got an Infernus pistol now, which is pretty rad. Because yeah, I've played a little bit. I've played a little bit past where we played for the video. Obviously, this is the same save file, as you can see from the stupid names that many of them have. Which I will change to more serious ones after I'm done with this stream. Although Jurgen the Self-Aware is probably going to stay, because he's been like the best character. But yeah, I've played a little bit past it, and the game's actually kind of improved a lot, because there's a bit of like banter between Marines. Actually, speaking of that, what I will do, because the banter is over the other side, is I am going to move the webcam over to the other side, which means I'm going to have to relocate everything. Even though it's a little weird for me to be facing that way, but whatever. But at least so you can, you know, see what's going on. More serious names, but why would you? Because I want to make them, you know. Can't see you. Yeah, sort of. And hey, everyone. But yeah, so there's a bit like banter between Marines and stuff that they do that isn't in that introductory campaign, or like I say campaign, like the introductory set of missions that we played for the video. And the exact point at which we stop playing is where the game kind of opens up a little bit more. Which is, yeah, it's not good, but it's just a little bit more open, you know, and it gives you a bit more of what you'd want. God, you're in Blood Angel Sausage Sandwich. Yes, we did. Yeah, the game is on sale on the Humble Store, and it's quite cheap. Yeah, it's like £1.80, I think. I was mentioning earlier. It's totally worth that. Jurgen, Flurgen, Durgen, Jurgen, Hergen, Sergen. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but this stream is technically Warhammer 40,000 Dark Millennium Online. Because even though that's not a game that actually exists, Twitch insisted that I had to have the name of a real game, and it doesn't think that Deathwatch exists for some reason. So I instead went for Dark Millennium Online as a matter of protest that they have an entry for a game that doesn't exist, but they don't have one for a game that does. So yeah, I have played a little bit more. I played like the first two like parts of the new one. So I thought I'd go back to part one again, because not only is that helpful, because I'll be able to get more resources to unlock more stuff, but also so you can see what actually happens with the other stuff. And thank you for the follow, by the way, Dakara. Thank you. So yeah, let's go into the drowning pools, where we can let the bodies hit the floor. And yeah, you also get to see this screen, which is quite fun. So you can see the team that you've got. It does obviously tell me that some need to level up, but I'm saving up for various things with each of them. So, because that's the other thing, like the game is quite good in certain ways, but it also is a real shit at not telling you things. So, like, yeah, you can unlock like war gear slots and abilities and traits, but you have to sort of like fish around for these things yourself. Like the game will know, it doesn't have any kind of tutorializing to tell you how to do any of this stuff. Don't hear the game sound, it's very low. There's not much going on right now. It's just a very low musical thing. So, well, actually it's set super low, so I will turn it up a bit. And we'll see once the game starts doing the shooty bangs how loud that is. And thank you for the follows. I just saw a couple of follows come. Thank you. You did name your cat after Magnus, because a nerd. Good. But anyway, yes. You don't get, like, there's lots of stuff that it should tutorialize, but it doesn't, and I don't want excessive tutorializing of stuff, but it could probably do with a little bit more. Are there some other interesting chapters in the game? Actually, I will, just so you all know, because I can just back out of this right now. If you go to the Codex, which shows you all of the extra shit you can get. Now, obviously, the three basic ones that are in this are Space Wolves, Blood Angels, and Ultramarines, and I think they were all that were in the original mobile release. The Enhanced Edition, which is what this is, also has Black Templars, Dark Angels, Imperial Fists, and Silver Skulls. Sorry, Kylie Minogue. So it has an extra 4. So there isn't that many chapters, but it's better than just the 3 that there were, because that's 3's just not enough at all. But anyway, let's go in and do this shit. Don't you just love loading screens that have no animation on them?
The biomass pools in this chamber must be contaminated with the atrophying agent. Begin the process by pouring the flasks into the pools. Expect heavy resistance.
Okay, how was his volume? Because that sounded like it's probably very low. So I can turn it up. Yeah, I'll turn it up a bit more. That's the thing, like every game being fucking different, you can't tell. How are you? I'm okay, Big Chungus. How are you? How's everyone? Okay, so it is the video game. You can also do this, which I didn't realize when you're doing the video, because you have to just look in the controls to find that out. You can tilt it down slightly, although all that really means is that you can't really do much. So let's have a look at what's around us. Okay, shoot that fucker. And that fucker. And now they are dead from the shooting that I did on them. Can't hear me? That might just be you, because everyone else is saying they can hear me fine. Well, they've been responding to me for the last 12 minutes, so I presume they can hear me. Oh yeah, I'm going to move him up here. And I can shoot this little fucker. Fine. I did want to Overwatch, but... Okay, that's kind of a pointless Overwatch, but whatever. It means he's protected if something happens. Yeah. Don't think there's a great deal I can really do right now, so... Can I poke him through that little gap? Oh, fuck it, whatever. Yeah, Snoke's just a little under the weather. I'll let her know that you were wishing her well. Those heresy holes I see. Yes. What you have to do in this mission is, I'll actually show you because I can just do it right now, is you have to go up to these heresy holes and then you put like a virus into them to stop them creating more heresy. Or it's like the biomass generation pools shit, you know. That's what it actually is. Can I just move you there? Possibly overkill, but it's fine. Set them on Overwatch. Oh, actually, shit, he's a shooty one. So let's... I was hoping to just get rid of him with a regular shot, but apparently not. So fuck me, I guess. Heresy soup. That is, yeah, that is a fair point. There is no such thing as overkill when you're talking about 40k. It just is. Might as well move him a step forward since he's... Well, I'm not going to do anything else. And him... End turn. Would you suggest this game? For the £1.80 it is on Humble Bundle right now, yes. For its regular price of like 11 quid, probably not. He slapped my Blood Angel right on his arse. That's not very nice, is it?
Brother Ultramarine, is it true you spent all your time looking pretty, marching around the gleaming plazas of Ultramar?
We are too busy slaying the Emperor's enemies to parade, Space Wolf, creating the most stable region in the whole Imperium.
Put your hackles down, brother. I make sport, is all.
Sport, you say? Then tell me, Wolf Brother, is it true that you spend the nights howling at the moon?
I hope you can hear that, because if not, I'll turn the volume a bit more, because yeah, there's banter between the Marines, and it's quite fun. It's not like the best or anything, but it does make the game feel a little more alive than the stuff you play just in the introductory missions. I quite like it. It's quiet, but it was great. I'll turn it up slightly more then, because it is quite quiet in those places. Okay, yeah, I can run him up there and then he can slap the Tyranid as well. You tell that digging up. There we go. I've interfered with their holes. I shouldn't say things like that. Yeah, I don't know if people know, but Jurgen, Jurgen the Self-Aware, as his name. Oh yeah, I forgot I gave him grenades. He's like my best character. He goes around one-shotting things because he's got an Infernus pistol and a power axe, and he's fucking great. Adding the secret herbs and spices to the Heresy soup. Can we see Snipe's collection? One day, yes. If I Overwatch him, can he peek just through there? Yeah, it's just when it's diagonal. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, well, just fucking end the turn, won't I? Is there friendly fire? Yes. My Blood Angel has an ability where he'll attack whatever is closest to him, and you can just do it. And I don't think it uses... I'll actually try it, because I don't think it uses AP to do it. He'll just attack whatever's closest. Like, how do you do it? I think you have to... Yeah. Oh, he attacks everything that's nearby. Oh well, I know that now. The last time I tried it, he only attacked one thing. But he apparently attacks everything. You see, that's the problem with this game, is that there's no tooltips for these things. Yeah, there's no tooltips for anything, so it's sometimes it's hard to know what things will actually do, because even the tooltips you get in the main menu are kind of vague. So that's how you find out what abilities do sometimes. And yeah, Angel, yeah, it's like 11 quid. on Steam. But yeah, it's cheap on Humble Bundle now. If you, yeah. But yeah, there you go. There's one of the other things you can do that are somewhat frustrating because sometimes they just fucking do this. But on the bright side, I can just have my good old Jurgs just slap them all to death. So. Can you hit him? No, only you can hit him. Good. Good. I will up his fucking accuracy. First chance I get. And you can't... God. This level's kind of annoying because everything's... like all these things in the way prevent you from having decent Overwatch layers. I feel there needs to be more Tyranids than just a few gaunts. Well, this is the first proper level of the game, so... Good. Impressive.
Have you heard? The Imperial Guard gather at the Lantern.
Yes, they hope to form a bulwark against the Tyranids.
We should be there, fighting with the men and women of the Astolat sector.
That is not the role of the Deathwatch, brother. We work in the shadows, but our deeds have greater importance than the largest of battles.
There we go, more banter. And let us, yes, add the herbs to the soup. Oh, what's your favourite chapter? So every time someone asks me, it kind of changes. But overall, I'm quite a fan of like. Sorry, I have to concentrate for a second. I'm just thinking what I need to do. There's loads of them I quite like, honestly. Like kind of the more basic ones, like I really like the Space Wolves, but I also like dumb ones like Space Sharks and things like that, Kosharidans or whatever you want to call them. I'm also quite the fan of stuff like, ooh, can I shoot that one if I move him far forward? Yes, I can. Didn't do much, but I could. But yeah, honestly, it depends what fucking day you ask me, really. There's loads of chapters I like. Overall, my favourite Space Marine faction is, like, pre-Heresy World Eaters, though, so... So you don't like Blood Angels, why may I ask? I think it's because I don't like a lot of the fluff about them. Like, I think they look cool enough. Just not... I think the problem is that most of my interaction with the Blood Angels comes from the... Fucking shoot him. Comes from the 5th edition era when their codex was fucking the dumbest goddamn shit. So it kind of tainted them a bit for me. Oh, he can actually get there, so let's just fucking do it. Hello, little Nid. He missed. How could he miss? Yeah. But honestly, like, when it comes to chapters and things, like, I do think a lot of the time it's got a lot to do with, like, some people can pull them out, like, sometimes they can be made really, really cool. Like, someone can pull off the lore really well and, like, make them so much cooler. And hell, even when it comes to Blood Angels, like, I do legitimately kind of love the Death Company. I just think they're really fun. And if I did ever make a Blood Angels army, it would just be a Death Company only army, so... Sam Whip chapter is the best chapter. Oh, bless you. How many Grimmers you killed? Many of them. Space Marines on a secret Christmas mission to deliver presents to all the Xenos. Did you know there are actually some Christmas Space Marines that were released in like 88? You can look them up online. They made some special Christmas ones. They look like they're holding like flagons of like, I presume it's supposed to be like eggnog, and they have like a Christmas tree emblem on their pad. They're ridiculous. They're kind of fun. Everyone's moved and done their thing. Yeah, okay. Good work there, Nid. Everyone believes in you. Death Company when you want to play Khorne but also love the Emperor. Exactly. See, that's it. But all the versions of Blood Angels I like are the ones that are more... They're basically just loyalist world eaters. Like, I love the Flesh Tearers, but they're pretty much just, oh, we wanted to make some world eaters, but instead we thought we should probably be loyalist for a little while at least. Excuse me while I punch you. I hope you don't mind. Will I be able to see anything there? Yes, excellent. Shoot him right up the bum. Dead. Oh, hey, there's one down there as well. Hello. And there. Oh, you're all coming to the party now, aren't you? Yeah, all of these rocks and things that, like, from the top perspective are not super obvious. Like, that they would be in the way, but they restrict your view so badly. Flesh Tearers and Lamenters are the best at Blood Angel Success chapter. Yeah, I always forget about the Lamenters. I do have a real soft spot for the Lamenters. I think just because they get their shit wrecked so often, I just kind of feel sorry for them. Do you want to stop doing that? It's really annoying. Okay? We done? Thank you. The Nids are pissed you ruined their curry. Yeah. I think that's exactly what's happened, canonically. Go. See, all I'm doing really is just trying to level up this sanguinary priest, because he doesn't start like with an ability to hurt people, to heal people at all. You have to level him up to get that ability, which is a little ridiculous, but what can you do? What can you do? I think I can get everyone to there. There we go. Yeah, you can like do things at the same time as well. But there we go. That's mission 1 over, and I think most of that damage I took was from the Blood Angel when he shot everyone. Is there a partial cover system? No, I don't think so. I think it is just like you're either in cover or you're not, sort of thing. I got a thing. I got a plasma gun. I already have a plasma gun, but thank you. Doesn't stop the ability to hurt people. Yeah, no, it's to heal people, is what I meant to say. Because, yeah, where is it? Yeah, here is his ability to heal adjacent unit for 50% of missing health. Nice. Costs 8,000 XP. That's a lot. That takes quite a while. Because I mean, what, I got like 1,900, I think, there for that one mission. And that's to unlock his basic healing ability. It's like, I guess I could sell some of my items I don't need anymore. Like, cannot sell war gear. Oh yeah, that's the one he's got equipped. Let's just sell a regular shit tier bolter and a regular shit tier chainsaw. So I've got 100. This game is a massive throwback to Chaos Gate. Yeah, it's kind of similar in some ways, especially given you've got the whole action points thing and stuff. So yeah, let's open a pack, because it used to be a mobile game, so you used to be able to buy these with microtransactions. Now you just play missions and get them. Apparently it's not very well balanced, so it's still balanced as if you can also buy them, so it just takes you fucking ages to grind these things out. But yeah, so let's see what we get. Let's tap, do mad unboxing. Medipack. Cool. It's actually a high ranking one, because the thing in the corner tells you how good the item is, so that's actually quite useful. I got a Dark Angel's Tactical Marine, so that's fun. And a Rite of the Marksman. Passive 15% damage to bolt weapons. That's pretty rad, actually. And what does he do? Oh, he has plus crit and damage when he's low on health. Can fire at all enemies in range. Heal 5% of max health at the end of your turn. Okay, cool. Actually, that seems like some pretty good things. Fucking microtransactions, yeah. This game is more complex and better. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It was originally a... It was a mobile game, and it was built to be a little more simple because of that, but I don't want to spend money to get him. I mean, can he take... Oh shit, anyone can take a medipack. He doesn't have to be an apothecary. Huh. Interesting. I should probably give that to someone. I'll tell you what, let's level up, let's give Sausage Sandwich a war gear option, so he can take the medipack in case he, you know, decides to shoot anyone. Let's have a look at the Dark Angel, actually, because the thing is, these are like just the basic ones, so all he really is identical to the other ones, apart from a few little abilities to the other ones, but there are for each of them like slightly more fancy versions, so you can get like Wolf Guard ones and Tyrannic Veterans and things like that. What about inter-chapter rivalry? Well, yeah, they do. They bicker between each other, which is quite fun. Is he standing in space? Well, there is a floor, but, you know, space is also happening around him. But anyway, I'm still saving up for things, so I'll level these guys up afterwards. Let's go and do the next mission, which I've already done, so I know I can totally survive without really worrying about it. I would take the Dark Angel, but he's just a fucking tactical marine, and I don't give a fuck. So... Oh, hey, Michael. Hey. How are you doing?
Brothers, you have been detected. Tyrannid forces are massing toward your position. Set bombs, break through the enemy, and find a way out of this chamber.
So this mission is basically, from what I remember, Overwatch is a thing in this game. Use it a lot. And that's pretty much it. You've just got to guard these bombs here and survive, and that's it. So you just move you guys up and get them into some kind of vague position and just hit Overwatch every turn. Is this an XP farming mission? Kind of, yes. There is actually quite a lot of NIDs that keep popping up, because I think I've got a last for like 7 or 8 turns or something like that. There we go. There's this healing ability. Okay. Oh, and it takes 3 things to use. Okay, cool. Right, well, let's end this turn. Do you think a proper XCOM-S game would work for 40k? Absolutely, and I would play the shit out of it. Even though I'm not like a big, even though I've never played XCOM, I know I want it, you know?
Thank the Old Father, no dark angels sully this squad.
I have heard that the wolves of Fenris do not see eye to eye with the sons of the lion.
They are traitors, mongrel wretches of all our kind.
If there was a dark angel here, he would strike you down for such words.
He would try.
There you go. That's quite fun. Oh shit, you got a lot of exams, Mark. Oh shit, well, good luck with them, man. Jurgen the software. Yes, he's still there. Now, technically, the sensible thing to do with Overwatch, because you will just end up wasting shots, is to have them overlap, like not overlap too much, because realistically, you're just going to be, you know, wasting shots. I think that's the best position for him, because he's got a Infernus pistol, which is short range. But because this area is so small, you can't help but overlap like crazy, and you will see how bad this Overwatch like over coverage gets. Like this one, yeah. Well, I guess he's dead. This is quite a good one for earning XP, honestly. See, there you go. Hey, Fez. Dark Angel said, nothing happened on Caliban. There was absolutely nothing. Did we ever mention where someone got really, really angry with us for making Dark Angels are totally loyal? Yeah, they've never had any history of that, of being heretics in their history whatsoever. No. Someone got really angry at us for saying that once. It's always really funny when people get very angry at you for insulting a fictional group of people. Found the 30th anniversary of the Crimson Fist based off an old cover. Yeah. It's based on the old Rogue Trader cover. Thank you for the 40k advice on my game night. Oh, the thingy, yeah. Oh, I'm glad it worked out. Overwatch is just a game of I saw him first for the Space Marines. Yeah, pretty much. Magnus did nothing wrong except for all those things he did wrong. God, you are the fucking worst. You know that. See, that's how you shoot. Fucking Blood Angels. I know this is super exciting, watching me set up Overwatch repeatedly. Because I played this mission just before we streamed, or before I streamed, to earn some resources, so I'd be able to unlock more things. And I think I got hit once in the entire match, because that happens. Okay, let's see if you can redeem yourself here. I hit end turn by accident, because I'm an idiot. I don't know why I did that. That was just on a weird, like, automatic reflex. Like, what am I doing? Oh well. This will make the match more interesting rather than it just being constant Overwatch. So that's the thing. What happened in my brain then? It's like, no, I'm not going to do the thing that you want. Okay, let's not hit that big button at the bottom.
Primarch could see me now. Maybe he can, brother. They always said the angel had a far sight.
Can he? Let's have you. Yeah, the Great Warrior sausage sandwich is a bit of a beast with his bolt gun. And then let's... Wait, he has to... Oh, yeah, this is another one of those things that it doesn't tell you about. Is that the plasma weapons overheat, and you only find this out by looking over here in this corner. One of the few tooltips that actually work. Neo Marines be named Brother Flappy Mouth. I probably should. Okay. Good work on using up all your Overwatch points doing that, guys. Wow, he's doing pretty well at that range. Horus was just the victim of a hilarious misunderstanding. Yes, the misunderstanding being that he was a dickhead. Well, actually, more accurate, the misunderstanding being that the Emperor was an idiot who didn't communicate what he was doing and could have totally avoided every single problem. Because, as stated, he was an idiot. He was a very bad father. Someone should do a webcomic based around this fact. It would be hilarious, especially when they don't update for 4 years. I did a comic about it. I haven't updated in like 4 years. I fucking do that all the time. I accidentally hit Overwatch when I just want to shoot. Because I'm just so used to hitting Overwatch. But there we go, that excitement of that one turn where I was an idiot. Apparently everything's fine now. Wasn't Lorgar a bigger dickhead? Oh, totally. Yeah. But even then, Lorgar's problems were more. It was more that the people around him were were like the biggest of dickheads, and he had a terrible father. Like, okay, slam. Wham bam, thank you, man. Oh, I did it again. I always do that. I go like, oh, I want to go into Overwatch. Oh. You know what? Fine. Fuck you then. I'll just shoot you. Like I even give a fuck.
Can I borrow you for a second?
Yeah, what's up? Can do?
Okay.
Guys, give me 1 second. How would I do this?
Sorry. Have I ruined everything?
No.
And hi, chat.
Where are we? So I don't know why I made a weird sex noise there. Tell them to add me as a friend.
Okay.
People are saying hello, by the way.
Hi.
Okay.
I'm gonna get some munch.
You're gonna do some munch.
Would you like a Withers original?
I'm okay for a Will's original, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry about this, guys, but it will be worth it. Oh, thank you, Telex. I'm okay. How are you? Who would ever met his comics about Wood being a bad father?
You're a bad father?
Yeah, the Slaneshi sword or being awkward with Mortarion. Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible idea if someone was to make a comic like that. I mean,
This is quality.
it's
Streaming
quality
content.
streaming entertainment.
It's really good because we're professionals.
Can you do a stream painting nids? I don't have any, so it would be very different. They're difficult.
I was gonna take some Doritos upstairs, but I don't want to be a gaming stereotype.
You don't want to be just Doritoing some
I don't
figures.
want to be Doritoing.
Yeah. Or at the very least, if you can send me his like give me the Discord tag, because I can't read it on that screenshot.
What? Discord tag.
Yeah, he's talking to you on Discord. I shall do it. I'll do some turns while we're sorting this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Enemies moving. Not for long. Okay, cool. Ah, yes.
I'm going back to bed.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I hope you have lots of fun. Treat Daddy Web well.
And everything's fine. Let's see if this works. Anyway.
Okay, good. That worked.
Hello!
Right, I'm just going to have to mute the Twitch stream, otherwise I'm going to hear myself speak twice. Hang on.
Oh yes, that would be immensely confusing.
Uh,
So yes, everyone, here is Michael from Tactica Imperialis.
Evening.
How are you today?
All right. I've been a bit of a long one, just writing up nuclear physics notes, so I'm going to keep myself entertained.
Oh, that sounds far more in-depth than anything I will do ever, basically.
The theory of gamma disintegration. Yeah, it's nothing much.
Yeah. Oh, everyone is like volume of each person about right? Because I can turn them up a bit more. Or...
It sounded all right just before I muted.
Okay.
But let the chat decide.
The chat shall decide. It's
That's
good.
a dangerous
Excellent.
thing. But...
You don't want to ever trust chat. They're a terrifying, terrifying group. Ah, yeah. So apart from doing smarter things than I ever will with my entire life, how you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. Slowing down the hobby front because of all the exams I've now got. But I've nearly finished my Stormcast Heavy Cavalry and looking forward to playing again eventually.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've been kind of promising myself that for about 4 years at this point. But I'm sure you're in a better position than I am. Have you got like a group in France to do this stuff with, or?
No.
Oh.
I have a really awesome group chat of friends at home in England, but here it's very much you're on your own. It feels like there's no social aspect to anything. Even the rugby team doesn't have a social.
Oh, okay.
Also, I'm hearing like a ticking noise, like is that like a keyboard or something?
Let me. I'll just take my earphones off and see if I can. Are you hearing it now?
Yeah, it's kind of like you know those instruments that you can like swing around.
Yeah. There's nothing.
It might be me. It might just be the call rather than because I don't think the stream haven't mentioned it, so it's probably just in my ears and I can live with it.
Yeah, I think it might be. I'm afraid.
No worries.
This is your problem now.
Quite.
But yeah. Deathwatch is a video game that exists.
Yeah, I saw your little playthrough of it the other day.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, dare I say it, Space Hulk.
Yeah, I get that. Someone mentioned earlier that it reminded them of Chaos Gate, and I kind of get that.
Yeah, before my time, unfortunately.
Oh, don't worry, it's nigh impossible to actually get working anymore. So.
Yeah, I saw all that those years ago Total Biscuits video saying that it basically doesn't run under any circumstances.
It's like I put a thing up on Twitter the other day because people have this weird habit of coming on to, because we did I don't know if you've ever seen it, but we did a 40k video game retrospective of like the pre.
I think I missed. Oh, it stopped. Oh no, it started again.
Oh, good. But there's I did all of the pre-THQ games, so they're like the 90s games, so from Space Crusade to Rights of War.
Yeah.
And every about 3 months or so, someone will leave a smarmy comment pointing out how well they got it working. Because we talk about how Chaos Gate is basically impossible to make work.
Basically, but not totally.
Yeah, it's... Because the problem is that it's like to do with the gun sound of the cultist weapon, and they're like the first enemy you encounter.
Yeah.
And that gun sound, for some reason, does not work with anything past like Windows 98. Don't ask me why. So like lots of the solutions involve like
taking that sound file out of the game.
Yeah, removing the sound file or making it so the cultist physically can't fire, but everyone else can. There's like all sorts of backwards ways of doing it, but
that's just too much faff.
Yeah, it's too much, and even then, it's still not guaranteed to work. And even recording it is super difficult because like Fraps can't pick it up. I know DX Tory couldn't pick it up. I didn't have Shadowplay at the time, so maybe that can. But like no actual screen capture software we had could even detect it properly. Like,
sheesh.
I think the best footage we managed to get from it was where we picked up the pixels that were the highlight colours of things, and that was it. But that's like a grid-based action point style 40k, where you used to have a small group and you kind of move them individually. But yeah, I would like to play it when it's functional, and from what I hear, because it was released on GOG about a year ago, I think, which of course caused a flurry of comments going, "Oh, it's available on GOG now." It's like, yeah, look at it. This was made like 3 years ago. Shut up.
Outdated videos and comments are always hilarious.
But yeah, apparently the GOG version barely works either, which is unusual for GOG. So
interesting in the chat. If you put some black contacts on, you could do a pretty good Korax cosplay.
Well, I do tend to look like a hobo who hasn't been outside in a very long time. I'm actually having had a haircut and a shave in the last couple of months. This is probably the most presentable that I look at any given time.
To be fair, because of uni, I don't get a haircut while I'm at university. I only get it while I'm at home, so I get it 3 times a year, except in summer. Oh
yeah. It's like the reason I have longer hair is one part for aesthetic reasons, and mostly because I'm just lazy and hate having haircuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's only £6 at my barber's back home, so it's not too bad, but...
Yeah, I don't know why, it just always bothers me. I had the last time I had it cut, the woman who did it, she cut it in such a way so that I could have the swept over, for want of a better term, emo haircut.
Right.
Where it's all swept over, and she did it I've given you the option to have that, and I just kind of sat there sad going, I have never felt so old as when you did that to me, because I never before felt like I was 31 years old, but you did that to me. And suddenly I felt in my 30s, because I looked like someone going through a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Someone was saying, if we can donate, can we get a pack opening thing going? Unfortunately, fortunately, there are no microtransactions in this version of the game, so you can't even fake it, unless you have Cheat Engine, where apparently you can make it work there. So. Yeah.
Microtransactions, fun.
Yeah, they didn't rebalance the game after removing them, so it still takes you a long-ass time to unlock anything because of that. Although I do finally have enough experience to actually give my sanguinary priest the ability to heal people.
Isn't that the sanguinary priests are kind of a little bit different to normal apothecaries, but they're still apothecaries at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, they didn't think that was a thing that they needed to have. They just don't start with it. Where is my... Wait a minute, I got a mastercrafted plasma gun. Where has that gone? Is the game broken on me? It's very possible. See, it's right fucking there. Why can't I equip that? What is going on here? What nonsense, what utter garbage is happening in my life right now? Yeah, it's just not there. Can I only give it to, more specialist troops? Let's try the one who is... Yeah.
That would be a bit nonsensical.
Yeah, is this a... I was wondering if this is a thing where I'm supposed to be able to scroll across with the touch thing, and they forgot to port that across.
Somehow I wouldn't even be shocked.
Yeah, I apparently can't equip that. Maybe you have
Someone in the chat said it's to do with the Dark Angel.
Oh. Yeah, he can have it. Oh yeah, shit, yeah, I didn't even notice that it has a tiny little Dark Angel symbol on it. And says Azrael on it, in case he forgets who his chapter master is. You can check his gun,
Oh yeah, to be fair, I hadn't even noticed either.
Yeah, that's really fucking small. I didn't even notice a thing, because the mastercrafted stuff, because of it being having all the gold stuff, I guess I just went, oh, green, some of them are just green, whatever.
Yeah, the only way you'd know is to look at the damage. Underneath the damage you can see it's got, but that's not clear.
Yeah, well, that's one of the problems, is that, the actual, I didn't see, a lot of the UI is very poorly implemented, so it's kind of hard to see what's going on.
Right.
Yes, the Dark Angels are known for forgetting.
Well, actually, no, the Dark Angels are not known for forgetting. They're known for making anyone who knows shut up and die.
Well, that's it. That's it. The thing is, they've got so good at making other people forget that they themselves have as well. See, it all works out if you don't think about it very much.
Yeah, there's a level of suspension of disbelief.
Yeah. It's 40k. It's fine. It's fine.
It is absolutely fine.
Actually, I will say, I was mentioning this earlier, one of the things I do quite like about this game is that it does what a lot of things have not managed to do for me, which is make me care about the Ultramarines.
Well, snap.
Because, I don't hate them or anything, but I just find them really dull. And even going through, the Ultramarines movie and Space Marine as a game, you were with them for so long, and they still felt kind of boring and vanilla. Whereas the little banter that they have between people in this gives them more life than...
I mean, I've covered every single Legion. I can't talk about Modern Era so much, but I have covered every single Legion for my lore videos, and honestly, I have nothing against the Ultramarines. I'll say that. I have nothing against them, but they're certainly not someone who's going to make me go, ooh, yay, amazing.
Yeah, I think that's it. They just don't have the wow factor.
I mean, they are badass. They're written to be because they are the poster boys of the universe. But at the same time, knock it off.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of it was the problem because I started playing in this around. It was not long after Third came out. And at that time, though, obviously they had Black Templars as the ones on front of the rule book and the box set. They did this. It was still Ultramarines everywhere on the posters and things inside GW, and it was before they gave them their more toned down colour scheme as well. So they still had the bright yellow and bright blue, the old Ultramarines blue colour. And so it sort of made it a little bit. I don't know, they were so all over the place and they looked kind of silly, even by the standards. I mean, this was still when Blood Angels, depending on who was painting them, still had the version of Blood Angels Red that was almost orange, you know?
Yeah, well, I will say, in the Ultramarines' defense, well, actually, no, sorry, I don't know if I can defend the Ultramarines, but I can defend Guilliman. Because I had a comment on my top 5 least favourite Primarchs video, and someone basically called out Guilliman for being a bit of a square.
Yeah.
And yes, he was a bit of a square, but I haven't particularly read it myself, but if you read Dark Imperium, he has really got some proper character development now.
Yeah. Well, the limited stuff I've read about him, he does seem a lot more interesting because he was very much in the vanilla poster child, Boy Scout-y kind of thing for me.
Yeah.
So when he first came out, my reaction was, well, I would have preferred that literally any other Primarch came back, but it's still cool to have them come back. But narratively, it makes sense, and what they've done with him is going to be him,
or it was going to be Lion.
Yeah. I would also just like to point out that what I have to do now is hack my way through the narrow flesh canals.
Oh, well said, game.
Which is a good turn of phrase. I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat, see what they're talking about, because I'm afraid I've been neglecting them for you. I'm sorry.
They're asking about, can you get black shields?
I don't believe so, no. Because it does say the 4 extra chapters, which are... Because, there's the 3 base ones, which are Blood Angels, Ultramarines, and Space Wolves, and then they added 4 for the Enhanced Edition, which is Black Templars, Dark Angels, Imperial Fists, I think, and Silver Skulls. Or, of course, Kylie Minogue, if you believe our video.
Wait, hang on, that's such an odd choice. You go Ultramarine, Space Wolves, Black Templars, Imperials, the icons of the universe, and then just Silver Skulls, just tacked on the end.
I don't know, I was thinking about this the other day, and they are a chapter that is sort of weirdly appears a lot in certain weird places, and I think it's because they are one of the original chapters that they've never really backed down on super hard, so they've always been around. So sometimes they just turn up in weird places.
Yeah, they're actually the nearest chapter to the. Well, this is probably going to sound weird, but they're a bit Grey Knighty.
Kill team.
in
have
that they
means
have
of escape.
prognosticators.
These narrow channels
yeah, I get
lead
that.
you to the edge of the ship.
I mean, they're not like super badass demon fighters. They got their ass kicked by Huron
Blast and
Blackheart in the
hack through
Gildar
any
Rift,
membrane
but
walls that bar your path.
Oh wow, I
it's
really
just
do have to punch my way through the flesh tunnels. Oh god.
what's the one I would have actually added is the someone actually also mentioned it in the chat is the Crimson Fists, because they have like one of the longest Deathwatch service records of anyone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Actually, spoiler alert, I've actually got the Crimson Fist coming up in a video, and they have there's a watch captain who served now 3 times with the Deathwatch, 3 full tours.
Oh, nice.
And he's an apothecary, and he's supposed to be like this super hard ass, and he's apparently completely cold, and like working under him is like he's really harsh on you. But if you get to know him, he's a really awesome guy, and he's basically got a sense of humor about as dry as terror.
Oh, nice.
And apparently he speaks 12 or 15 languages fluently.
Huh.
So like he's pretty cool.
That sounds pretty cool. I'm also... Oh, yeah, I guess I have to be able to punch through these things, but I'm, like, trying to work out, like, if I'm doing any significant damage to them, or...
Yeah, that should be an interesting calculation.
Yeah, because they don't have a health bar like a regular enemy. Let's see if punching them works better, because in my head, that should work better. And by... Well, okay, punching them if Jurgen would actually hit. Oh, there they are. Hello, enemies. Are you okay there? So.
The person talking about getting the level that's got really good for grinding and doing Overwatch all the time, that's what was happening when I joined.
Yeah, that level is fantastic for doing that. It's because the entire like thing about it is that it's just you just set on Overwatch and don't do anything else. It's a little weird, really, that appears as the second proper mission in the game. And especially because, like, the problem with this game is that it does everything to make it so that you think it's going to be crap. So
yeah, if it's all the shitty tropes.
And like the game opens with a little campaign, like a little mini campaign, which is sort of a microcosm of the entire game in itself. So you fight a couple of different types of NIDs, and you do multiple different mission types, but all of the thing about building your squad, all of the things about really having them have more interesting abilities, and all of the things about them having banter between them is just not there. It's just not there at all. So
it's a really bad introduction.
Yeah, it makes you feel like it's just not as interesting as the actual game is. So you could play the game for an hour and decide it's complete shit.
Whereas if you play it for 4, you might think, oh, there's actually something here that's kind of fun.
You'll probably still think it's crap, but you'll have a better opinion of it. Also, I'm going to see if I can throw a grenade at... Okay, yeah. Okay, that killed 2 of them, good.
I can't... I'm obviously, because I'm talking to you live and then the stream's on delay, I'm waiting with as much suspense as you are to see if that's going to work.
Yeah. I'd not used a grenade before, so I was like, hey, sure, let's try this. And apparently it's the deadliest thing that I've got, so that's good to know.
People have been making like XCOM references in the chat as it's gone along, and one thing that I remember hearing about XCOM is like the infamous 95% miss.
Yeah.
Are the Space Marines actually as accurate as lore would, like, even as gameplay was just where like they hit at least 2/3 of the time if they're aiming in a straight line?
They do have a preset. If I remember rightly, I unfortunately can't see it here because that would involve having a UI that isn't terrible. But you can look at the individual values, and I think it's like a combination of the weapon and the Marine in question, and it kind of compiles their hit to hit chance. It varies between weapon to weapon. I think by default it is somewhere around what you'd expect. So like 2/3 of the time they're going to hit fine, sort of thing. Yeah,
because I was looking at I think it was a 6-shot little spray, and it was like I saw 3 misses come up. I was like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you know the whole. If you're rolling, every now and again you're gonna
get the odd one.
Yeah. Every now and again you're gonna, I remember the first game of 5th I played when I was actually at Warhammer World and played like the test game in there, and playing as, I think they had them painted up as Crimson Fists, the Space Marines.
Yeah.
Rolled a ton of regular just shooter fire so it would have been slugger fire at the Terminator squad. I think the person I was playing against rolled 4 1s for their armor save.
Yeah, I've done that. I don't remember my first game of 5th edition because I think it was just playing with the Black Reach set on my living room floor.
Yeah.
But I think the first 2 games I remember was when my 2-man Deathcopter squad chased off 20 Kroot in close combat.
Nice.
And when Wazdaka Gutsmech turn 1 killed a monolith.
Excellent.
I think I actually had to cheat to make it happen, but unconsciously cheat.
Oh yeah, where you kind of just being a bit fuzzy with the rules.
Yeah, so like I made the move, and I think I forgot that he didn't have War.
Yeah.
So I made a run and charge. I made a long bomb charge, and got very lucky because this was 5th edition when vehicles were actually to be fair, 5th edition was the hardest vehicles I ever got. But, I was able to one-shot this monolith, and it was kind of hilarious.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. I remember one time because I used to play a lot of games with a mate of ours, who's the other person on the podcast, people know, Drummer Matt, and he played Tau in 5th, so when they hadn't had a new codex in a while, and you basically had to play them one specific way.
Yeah, they were arse.
Yeah. So it ended up with our games nearly always went the same way, which it basically did, because I was playing mechanized orcs, so it depended on if I got to his side of the table and didn't get blown up by railguns, I was going to just massacre him. But if he like blew up my battle wagons and trucks turn 1, then I was like, well, I'm walking the rest of the way, this could get bad.
Well, that's canonically accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, I once played a game with him where I didn't tell him what I was going to do, and instead of doing it normally, I just made an entire squad that was entirely an orc force that was based entirely around shooting.
Oh, Dakka orcs.
Yeah. And because he wasn't prepared for it, it was just like, oh yeah, you're not even going to come close to me, are you? So all of these flamethrowers I've got, like, they're not going to do anything, are they? Like, nope.
Yeah, orcs are such an amazing army because I had speed freaks when I started out, and I then I traded my Imperial Guard army for a Green Tide, which I then painted in a month. And I've sort of partly mechanized it now with Gorkanauts and battle wagons, and I've got a Stomper.
Yeah.
But there's so many things. The beauty thing about orcs is there's so many things you can do with them. You can play Horde, you can play Cult Speed, you can play mechanized, you can play Dakka, you can play anything goes. Annoyingly, everything apart from Horde is bad, but
yeah, I mean, I always sort of saw the whole draw of orcs is that you can make nearly everything with them work, provided that you commit to it, and that's really the only hard and fast thing. Is you go whatever you do, you go hard, and you're pretty much fine. Like, you can make it work. Some things work better than others, and obviously internal meta and competitive levels are another thing entirely. But like, you can make a lot work with them.
It's about right. To be fair, though, that's pretty much the case for most armies. If you go all in on a gimmick, you can kind of get something out of it. Because, I mean, I ran probably what some people would consider the sweatiest Farsight bomb you've ever seen. It was a 2,000-point army, and it was basically a little... I forget what it was. It was a little little detachment of... a Cold Star Commander, 2 Stealth Team Draconian Beacons, and 2 one-man Crisis Suits to make it legal because Farsight battle suits were troops back then. And then I took the Dawnblade contingent, which was basically 3 units of Crisis Suits, a Riptide, a Broadside, a Commander, plus Farsight and his bodyguard, plus a Flyer, and the entirety of that formation, with the exception, well, the Flyer, Farsight, and his bodyguard you had to roll for, but the entire of the Mega formation all arrived guaranteed on turn 2.
Oh shit.
So basically, the idea was I need to get my 2 stealth teams up the board because homing beacons mean you don't scatter. This was back in an edition where scatter was a thing.
Yeah.
And then you just get these 2 guys set up, and then you have 2 just kill zones ready. You just keep your cold star alive so you don't get tabled, or to give your opponent something to shoot at, and then wallop.
Yeah, those like the only time I ever faced that type of like kind of Death Starry type thing of just every you're just going to get wasted or something like that. As I fought someone once who put it was a what was it? This was again like 5th, so after their 5th codex had come out for Blood Angels, and they had I forget their names. The Chaplain special character.
Oh, Lamartes?
Lamartes and the other jump pack one.
Astarath?
Astarath the Grim, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Astarath the guy with the coolest pose I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, and it was those 2 and a squad of like 20 Death Company. Fully decked out. It was like, it was over 700 points for one squad, basically.
Oh, I can top that.
But the funny thing was that they weren't particularly good at building the list. So what happened was because I had my super mobile orcs,
You just ran rings around them.
well, they had all their regular troops on the board to begin with because they didn't reserve the other ones. So I just went across the board, killed all of them, and then it meant that then there was just half an army appears in one unit that's now surrounded by 1,500 points worth of orcs.
Yeah.
And so it was a depressingly short thing where I just stood around them and shot them to death, and then eventually they ran away. And it was like, yeah, that Death Star doesn't work so great, does it?
Yeah, we had at our gaming group, had a bit of an unbeaten army for a very long time. It was a terrible list in the grand scheme of things, but it was basically Logan Grimnar, Niall Stormcaller, Arjet Rockfist, and then as many Wolfguard Terminators with either Thunderhammer or Chainfist and Storm Shield as was possible in a unit, in combination with 2 units of Grey Hunters to act as troops, and then there was a Whirlwind, a Vindicator, a squad of Longfangs, and that was about it.
Shit.
And nobody could touch it for the best part of a year, I think. And the only way somebody topped it was by running the Deathwing equivalent. Deathwing Terminators, Azrael, Belial, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. And I think the problem is that I've had a very limited sort of interaction with different people playing. So it's very rarely been with people who have like super optimized lists. So whenever I've fought something that's been sort of a bit of a kind of Death Star type thing, or like just a really elite thing, they've always built their list so badly that they've just I've just annihilated them with just regular orc tactics.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I kind of one day want to fight someone who knows what they're doing in that situation, because it's just been like I fought a Logan Wing once, and they just walked across the table, and it was like I was allied with the Tau player as well, and so I was like, well, I'll have a few melee troops to make sure you don't get minced in melee if they get to the other side, but I'll just join you in being shooty. And it turns out Terminators walking from one side of the board to the other take a while, and you get shot a lot.
Yeah, our Space Wolf player was able to take 80 attacks from Orc Boys in melee without damage. So
Christ,
this was a dude who could make an armor save.
Yeah,
which was problematic. But yeah, I either did make or debated making a video about Death Stars last edition, how they basically don't work anymore.
Yeah, that's because I didn't play anything at all in 7th at all, so I never knew how it was balanced or anything.
It wasn't.
Okay, yeah, I gathered as much from people's reactions to it, but
yeah, I mean, I haven't played 8th in a few months because I didn't bring my 40k out to France with me. I didn't bring any models out, but it definitely feels better
Mm.
Admittedly, as I have talked about in a video I made last week, and as I talked about again on the podcast, I'm worried that their release schedule is going to kind of dick us all over. Because
everything coming out so quickly, or
not everything coming out so quickly, but what's coming out. So if you look at the 10 codices we've had this year, we've had or will have Space Marines, Grey Knights, Chaos, Death Guard, Astra Militarum, Adeptus Mechanicus, Craftworld Eldar, Tyranids, Blood Angels, and Dark Angels. That's 6 Imperial and 4 Space Marine. And 2 Xenos. And Demons are coming out after that. So it's just like, could you stop the Imperial overload, please, for 5 fucking minutes?
Yeah, I get that. Also, I got my way through the flesh tunnels.
Yay!
Which is apparently a thing that I have now done. But yeah, I guess it's always been the thing of that there's so many Imperial factions that even just working through them even if you alternate them, there's still so many of them. Like,
yeah, I know that about half the game is Imperial. It's like, why have you decided at the end of the year when you could have just gone with, I don't know, Gene Stealer Cults and then maybe another Space Marine faction? Like, what's the point in bringing the Dark Angels back now? Because Lion's not coming back. That's pretty much confirmed. Lion's not coming back.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Apparently, some of the people who've got it on pre-order are like, are there any things that are any new releases I need to be promoting? And they're being told no.
Okay.
So it seems like Lion is having a bit more of a nap.
That's a pity. Because he was like the one that I was thinking was going to be the next one. So
yeah.
Also, someone pointed out that it sounds like you want more Imperials. Is what you're actually after.
No, not at all.
No, you totally want more. I can the tone in your voice, I can tell.
I don't mind there being a large number of Imperial releases. It's weird the fact that the Imperial. If you want, I talk from a lore perspective. I know business-wise it makes sense to get the Imperium done first, but through the Space Marine Codex, the Imperial Guard Codex, and the Chaos Space Marine Codex, you can sum up 90% of what's going on with humanity in 8th edition.
Yeah.
Whereas we don't know what's going on with the Tau, we don't know what's going on with the Orcs, we don't know what's going on with the Necrons. I haven't seen the Tyranid Codex, so I don't quite know what's coming out for them. We don't know what's going on with the Dark Eldar, we don't know quite what Ivrain's up to, because they've got some extra rules to tack them in, but they haven't got any lore updates. It's like, so much information I want to know.
I think that's it. You'll never quite find out everything you want, because there's always that one thing that you want to know, and they'll always hold it back.
Yeah.
Keep you buying the books. Which you can't really blame them for, but still, I want it.
Absolutely. And it's like, I don't mind there being unanswered questions and theorizing. Remlace wouldn't have a channel otherwise.
Well, yeah.
But it would just be nice to have a few things filled in, and if they're going to advance the plot, then advance the fucking plot, please.
Yeah, well, I was kind of shocked that they actually did advance it at all with 8th. That was the thing that when reading through the rulebook, I was like, because I missed out on all the Gathering Storm stuff because it was like, oh yeah, a new edition's coming out and there's all these books to buy and you don't have the money to buy them, so...
Yes.
And so I kind of caught up with what had happened, and then reading through the actual rulebook of everything that happened, it's like, shit, there's actually been progress here. Which is nice.
It's nice, but it's raised more questions than it's answered.
True.
It answered nothing.
But in a way, I don't mind it making more questions as long as they move stuff, because it makes it feel like it's a bit more of a living universe rather than being in this static state, which I know it has kind of been in a static state for 10,000 years, but of it just being stuck at this time. So it was nice to see, But I do understand what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what always makes me wonder is Gathering Storm happened at the effective equivalent of 1,000 bajillion miles an hour.
Yes, yeah.
I haven't read them, but I've heard they are an absolute slog.
I can imagine, because there was a lot that came out very, very quickly.
Yeah, and it was apparently, particularly BLTAR, not very well handled. As a result, and it makes you wonder, like, why are they now not filling in these gaps and, like, you know, using these new books to fill it in? Whereas apparently in the new Eldar Codex, there's effectively no new lore. But hey, that's just the complaints of a man who doesn't really care about the models half as much.
Yeah, no, I get that.
The Tech Marines inform me that the atrophying agent has
Well, someone was asking if you think Jagati. How do you pronounce his name? I've never said it out loud.
I say Jagatai, but
yeah, I just realised that right now. I've never actually said that name out loud.
As to whether he will come back, because I did see the question, not in the short term. It depends. If we get another Imperial Primarch, then I will say yes. But if we don't get an Imperial Primarch in the next 18 months, I'd start thinking we're not going to get any.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Also, I apologise to literally everyone watching, because I realised, because I was talking about stuff, I totally didn't see what I was supposed to do in this mission, and there's no markers. This could be interesting.
I haven't. The mission hasn't loaded for my watching of the stream yet, so I'll tell you.
Okay, good. This is totally how you're supposed to play video games. With another person telling you what to do.
Isn't that just called keep talking and nobody explodes?
Well, yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I do want to play that one day.
Yeah, I imagine it would be a very fun thing to do. On with a podcast guest, it could be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, that sort of thing. I've
Oh, you do not quote game theory at me, you dick. That is Remley's. That might be the biggest Remley's trigger I've ever seen.
It brings me great joy how, in general, people who make YouTube videos react to game theory.
As to your earlier quandary, Space Wolf,
The thing is, you know the science that they've now started doing? The series The Science. The guy who does that, Austin, he's from another channel, originally, the Shoddy Cast, and on that channel, he's fucking amazing. Like, he goes on these crazy, angry rants, but he does proper research, and it's, like, genuinely, it's amazing stuff. So, like, when he moved over, I was like, oh, Austin.
What have you done?
He now can't swear, and it's like, that's half the fun.
Yeah, you see, that's one of those things, like, where, when the whole apocalypse bullshit started happening, and there was all these people, like, trying to figure out, like, the rules of what's going off, like, are you allowed to swear and all this, and we just kind of accepted straight away, look, if we can't swear, then we're going to end up, like, neutering our content so much, because it's not like, oh, swearing's big and clever, but we swear a lot, and...
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I self-censor a lot, except on Adeptus Podcasters. Yeah. I generally do, and I still get comments to this day who are triggered at me for telling Remlays, I know you're about to say murder fuck, so would you mind? And people still get triggered at me for saying that. Question from the chat. I was missing for a few minutes. I was wondering, any thoughts on Rogul Dawn returning? Same answer as I gave for Jagtai. If we get a Primarch soon, then he might, but I wouldn't bank on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him return.
Yeah, I mean, he's all confirmed alive. All but.
I guess that's the thing, like, there's so many, there's so many of the other... Oh, fuck. It really annoys me, but periodically the plasma gun just overheats, and I've never been able to actually notice what the pattern is when it does that. Ugh. It's the worst. You also can't melee things. Apparently that's only the reserve of people who actually have a melee weapon, so they are physically incapable of punching people.
That is what's called a failure of game design.
You might be right there, man. You might be right. So he's
the next Primarch back, if there is one, will be Lion or Russ, but the fact that now we've just got the Dark Angels Codex is making people think it's more likely to be Russ. Also, no, leave Sanguinius dead.
Sanguinius is super dead.
Yeah, and then there's this whole... It's like, why are people talking about bringing Sanguinius back in this whole Crystal Sanguinius bollocks? He's fucking dead. It makes sense to the plot for him to be fucking dead, so leave him fucking dead.
Yeah, if... You know, to be honest, when it comes down to dead Primarchs, if I was to say which was the most dead, and it came down to between Horus, who was basically wiped from the fucking existence of the universe, and Sanguinius, I'd be more on board with Horus coming back because Chaos.
Horus did come back.
Well, yeah, like, they've cloned him and shit. Like, there's... That's the thing, I would be so much more on board with that. I wouldn't be on board with either of them, but, like, yeah.
Yeah, if I had to pick one.
Yeah. But I guess that's the thing, like, everyone always, that they want the ones that they like to come back, and that's like, fine.
I think GW was playing with fire when they brought Magnus back. They were really playing with fire.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fully on board with it, but damn was it a risk.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, before they started making the Forge World models, my opinion was that they should probably have never started Primarchs under any circumstance.
Yeah, but I get that.
Because to me, they're like like how in the Call of Cthulhu, role-playing game, they have statted Cthulhu, which like, whilst, yeah, okay, it makes sense because he's basically impossible to get rid of, and even if you do kill him, quote unquote, he'll come back in 10 minutes. Like, that's just what will happen. And I think he does something like he kills like 1d3 party members per turn regardless. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, he's basically impossible to kill, but the fact he is statted means that he is possible to kill.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, like, the way the Primarchs are represented in lore, I was always like, they should never tell you how powerful they are, because then it gives you weird ideas about how powerful they actually are.
I mean, to be fair, the question... Ever since the Horus Heresy was properly fleshed out in lore, the idea of, who would win in a fight between X and Y...
Yeah.
Has been a thing, and honestly, I think if they wanted to immortalize the Primarchs, because they did, I love the Primarch miniatures, and having them immortalized in model form without rules would kind of just be a sin. Because obviously, if you're going to put these giants of the lore into model form, then everybody's going to want to put them on the table, and it stops people homebrewing.
Yeah.
But to do it in 40k, like, I agree, it's kind of nice to have them back, because it means that they're not just plot devices, who are just in the background, like, ooh, yeah, they exist, particularly on the Chaos side, but it's dangerous, because now you start thinking, well, where's X, where's Y, where's Z?
Yeah, it's one of those sort of things. Also, there's a lot of Tyranids on screen right now.
Yeah, you're still having a quiet moment on my screen, but I'm sure you're about to get quite ruined.
Yeah, it's fine. I've got good old Jurgen the Self-Aware, who's... Well, he's just killed... Can I get him to kill 4 in one turn? Yes, he killed 4 in one turn. Good.
Stroll on.
He's a good boy, is Jurgen. He's a very good boy. Less so than my Sanguinary Priest, who just is a crap shot. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but, you know...
If ever a Space Marine is a crap shot, then something's wrong.
Speaking as what he's supposed to be in the game, you know.
Actually, I haven't noticed it on the equipment screen. Please tell me you can get a flamer.
I believe so, but I haven't unlocked one.
Okay, good. Because doing a Tyranid Hive ship mission without a flamer just seems wrong.
Yeah, that's... As much as the meme is overused, that would be indeed heresy.
Quite.
In my game, Space Wolf Assault Marine was also MVP of basically every single game. Yeah, I think it's because you get him nice and early on, so you get him leveled up. And Yeah, so you want to give him weapons. But I know you can get like Wolf Guard and Lone Wolves and things who have like different armor and just look a lot more Space Wolfy. So I'm hoping to get one of those in a loot box.
Oh, lovely.
At least I can't, I'm not paying real money for it.
True.
My tally is far higher than yours.
Also, yes, Heavy Flamer is superior to Flamer, but not everybody can carry one.
Yeah, they're a little large.
Kill tally is far higher.
Sorry, I did not hear. While you were busy
Yeah,
talking, I was
indeed.
to and beating your pathetic.
Sorry, Jurgen's shit talking. It's like basically, I have more kills than you, suck it. And they're like, it doesn't matter. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to you because I was busy racking up my kill tally even higher. Good old Jurgen. I think I mentioned there's someone called us out for giving him a generic name, and it's like, no, his name really was Jurgen. That was his name before when we booted the game up. We just appended the self-aware because in the first mission he looked straight at us and it was terrifying.
Ah, dear.
What on earth am I doing? Okay.
Trying not to die?
Yeah, it seems to be going okay. Taking a few hits here and there, but, I've got some health. I mean, logically, if I was better at video games, I would have put my Blood Angel where Jurgen is because he's got a health kit. So I'd have both things with the capability of being healed.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Would make a lot of sense.
But,
Details.
No one tunes into these things to watch me be functional or good at things.
Yeah.
And as I've said on many occasions, if you tune into these streams or our channel at all and expecting high quality video game content, then I'm sorry. We've fooled you. This is not the right channel for you.
Ah, well. I mean, to be fair, at least your streams have got something entertaining to watch. When I stream, it's just literally me talking half the time while painting. So.
I've done plenty of painting streams, and I just sit there chatting and usually listening to music that everyone hates. But
yeah, I can't do that because I stream on YouTube. So.
Oh yeah, that'd get content ID, wouldn't it?
Yep, I have played one piece of music ever on stream because I felt like it. Which went down surprisingly well. Apparently, the 40k community, despite being metalheads, likes Frank Sinatra.
Oh, nice. I started off trying to play like music that wouldn't offend anyone. So I play like the Final Fantasy piano collections because they're nice. Like they're gaming music, but they're like neutral because it's just a piano thing. I thought that'd be really good. And then Snipe did a painting stream where she just played the Doom soundtrack.
Oh.
And everyone loved it, and so I gradually realised that basically I can play whatever the hell I like, and the last few I've just been playing all the ska punk that I normally listen to.
Yeah, honestly, I've discovered the Doom soundtrack quite recently. I have discovered the Doom soundtrack, and it is...
It's great. I love it. Actually, what it made me realise is because there's certain parts of it that have got a very almost rhythmic tribal kind of thing to it that reminds me a lot of earlier Slipknot. And so I ended up by listening to that a lot, I ended up having a bit more appreciation for Slipknot, which is not a thing I ever thought I'd say.
Yeah.
But then I have a very broad music taste. So.
Oh yeah, mine's all over the place. Like, I'm going to open up my Spotify and I'll go down the first 5 genres I come across. Okay. So I've got Miracle of Sound, Pharrell Williams, Dan Bull, Imagine Dragons and The Jam, and Frank Sinatra are like the first 6 artists.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The Brutal Doom soundtrack is very good as well, yeah. Control will go up, yeah. Quick unrelated question. Can you think of a name for a chicken other than Nugget or Burb? Well, my first response would be Chicken Nug, but...
you could, just to be a little bit of a nerd, you could call it poulet, which is the French for chicken.
You could call it anything related to dinosaurs. Name it after. I don't know how many people will know this, but I think it has appeared in a couple of streams. Snipe has a few stuffed dinosaurs. They are named Saxton, Murphy, and Bigby. So those are 3 names for dinosaurs.
Actually, chicken name, Ginger.
From Chicken Run.
There you go. I was hoping you'd get the reference. I was so terrified you weren't going to get it. You were going to look like 3 heads.
Oh no, it's Aardman animation. Like I'm of the age where I remember when they were like a big deal.
Aye. It's amazing how much like little things you end up picking up from movies and video games. So, for example, my parents have a Robbie Williams Swing album.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember that.
Swing When You're Winning.
Yeah.
From like 2003, and a couple of years later, I go over to my friend's house. It was my first battle report I ever did. It was after we finished recording, and he just put on Fallout New Vegas, and Ain't That a Kick in the Head came on.
Ha! Yeah.
And I was just like, wait, I know this song. Why do I know this song? And then it hit me, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes you end up like having quite like I know a lot of songs from like punk covers of them, and then so like I'll listen to an album and it'll be like, oh, this is a cover of this song you've never heard of. I'm like, okay, fair enough. And then many years later, I'll hear the original song and I'm just like, wait a minute, why do I know all the lyrics to this song I've never heard before?
Yeah, I've found that so many times, with like particularly with that Swing album, hearing covers of everything, and I actually heard the We Will Rock You the musical CD before I heard Queen.
Oh, Jesus.
So I grew up on a Queen tribute act as opposed to actually Queen.
Yeah, Queen are a very instrumental part of my musical upbringing, because what happened with me is that my mum and my dad have very opposed music tastes.
Right.
My mum likes absolute garbage. Her favourite artist is Cliff Richard, and that represents about 80% of her music taste.
Oh dear God.
And so I've got to a point now where even just hearing Cliff Richard's voice makes me unreasonably angry. My dad, on the other hand, likes mostly classic rock, and like I grew up listening to Queen albums. I'd like copy his vinyls onto tape. That was like my sort of musical awakening, as it were. And then I disappointed him by getting into ska and punk. But yeah, although saying that, my dad also was obsessed with Bruce Springsteen to the point that he played it so much that I can't even hear the guy's voice. It just drives me insane. And I'm like, this is your... Because he goes, you should love him. I'm like, yeah, and I would, but you overplayed one album of his for like 3 years solid, so I can't even listen to it anymore.
My family's not so bad. My brother has got a stupidly diverse taste, but I think he's sort of fallen into like Arctic Monkeys and the Cortinas. My mum is the nearest to absolute garbage. The one artist that sticks in my head, she had quite a diverse taste, but the one artist that sticks with me is Shania Twain. And my dad is just Elvis all the way.
I once saw a Shania Twain tribute act.
Oh dear God.
In a really shit pub.
Oh, double oh shit.
They were supporting a Dolly Parton tribute act who didn't even really sing a lot of the songs. What they did was they put on the live recording of some of the songs and then just sing along to it. Which was a thing that I've experienced.
Speaking of shitty karaoke, we were on holiday. Was it Cyprus? It was Cyprus or it was Madeira, one of the two. And we went up to this fancy hotel that was up in the hills. We were staying in a villa, and we went up to this hotel for dinner one night. And they had a singer, obviously, as you do at these club singers.
Yeah.
And he was doing Elvis, and we were sat on the balcony. There was me, my mum, my dad, my brother, my grandma, and my granddad. And we were all sat on the balcony, and he started singing. I think it's called "Can't Help Falling in Love."
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah,
you know the one.
I think I know.
He was shit. and all of the 6 of us were just sat, just like looking out over the sunset, just singing it to ourselves, and we were infinitely better and actually harmonising it by accident with each other. It was like the best. Like, we were just putting this club singer to shame.
My favourite karaoke experience was not doing it, because I have an absolutely appalling voice, as I found out when my band's old singer, he put us in a situation where I had to sing for a bit.
Oh no!
I'm really bad. But I did once go to a karaoke thing, and there was I was on holiday in France, and the guy singing was the most drunk I've seen a human, trying to sing Van Halen's Jump. The only word he could get right was jump. Never quite at the right time. So he just like, jump! Jump! It was,
that's got hallmarks of choiring.
It was beautiful. I got a power fist. Hand of the Angels.
Oh, that's going on the sanguinary priest then.
Yeah, I forgot to check if it had. Oh, I got an act clear, so I got a pack of cards.
Yay!
I apologise again for paying less attention to the chat than I normally do.
Yeah, sorry, that's my fault.
No, it's fine. It's an interesting new experience. We've never had like a guest on stream before. It's one of those things where. So yeah. Oh yeah, I'll check that, see if it's a Blue Angel one.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a bit behind, obviously, so.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the little symbol underneath.
I got a multi-melter though. That's quite fun. And an Imperial Fist Assault Marine. Okay. And a random Purity Seal, which has a las cannon on it by the look of it. What's that? Oh, plus 15 damage to laser weapons. Okay, which I assume is just las cannon, because it's not like it can be anything else, but... yeah, okay. That's a bunch of stuff I'm not going to use. Christian Grunge. Why have I been tagged with Christian Grunge? Is this just the genre?
I have no idea.
Funnily enough, there are actually a handful of Christian bands I do actually quite like. A Billion Ernies and Five Iron Frenzy are both good Christian bands. Mostly because, whilst myself not being religious, at least if they sound like they care about what they're doing, then I can at least get entertainment out of that. Whereas most Christian music tends to be very limp, and I go, look, if you really care about this, then commit a bit more, you know? But that's probably just the person who listens to punk all the time that's saying that.
It's honestly, I put about as much stock in religion as the Emperor does.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I went to a Church of England school. Like, that was my upbringing, and that's a really good way to make an atheist out of you. Christ.
The Harvest Festival at the church across the street, and good fucking times, man.
Oh yeah, I feel I should probably name this sanguinary priest. Probably something stupid, considering that the rest of them are called something stupid.
The problem is I can't even give you a French pun, because the French for blood is literally song.
Yeah.
I can't even give you a good pun.
How fluent are you in French, actually? Just out of interest.
I survive my lectures, which are all in French.
Okay, well, that's pretty impressive then.
Yeah, I'm trying to write up lecture notes. I'm doing a shit job of it. Thankfully, I've only got 4 more to write up for this course. But I can read them, and I write up my shorthand revision notes into English. But I can read them. I don't have to look up the odd word. My speaking and my writing are a bit meh because my vocab's shit, but I can follow a conversation pretty well.
Oh, his name's Flappy, by the way.
Oh, I said I put as much stock in religion as the Emperor. I didn't say I fucking was the Emperor with his ambitions and mindset, you arse.
Well, you know, I mean, it's good to have long-term goals.
Yeah, no thanks.
I wanted to get one more level, because there's an achievement for getting to level 10, and this is a rare game where it doesn't just fountain achievements at you all the time. You actually have to work for them. him a bit of health. What are people saying? Let's look.
Someone's saying call him Mosquito.
Oh yeah, I guess Blood Angel has got the pokey thing. Yeah, okay. That took a second to process in my mind. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, let's give this. Let's give my Space Wolf a big old fisting, in case people are indeed insisting upon a fisting.
By the greater good. I was going to get a piece of paper because I've run out of paper.
Ah, no worries. I cast Fist.
Honestly, why are you not giving the Power Fist to the Imperial Fist? Because he's an Assault Marine too.
But also he's like level 1.
This is valid.
If I wasn't streaming, I would probably be leveling up these guys as well. And you can just go back and do whatever missions in whatever order you want. So I'll probably throw all these into a squad together and I'll probably put Jurgen in there just to carry them all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because at present, I've not had a good reason to exchange any of these guys.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll do...
Actually, it's interesting, if you look at the Space Wolf War Gear, the Power Fist is about the only weapon that doesn't have the wolf in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do, because they do have, like, unique things for them, so they have, like, you can get frost axes and stuff.
Yeah, you've got Frostblade, Frost Axe, Wolf Claw, as they're equivalent for Power Axe, Power Sword, Lightning Claw, but the Power Fist is still the Power Fist. It's, like, pretty much the only one that doesn't change.
Yeah, let's have a look, because where is it? There's, yeah, so the specific Space Wolf weapons. Do they have... Oh, they do have a specific Power Fist, the Froskull's Strength.
Right.
Because there's like generic ones, but they also have specific ones. So there's like a las cannon that's Heimdall's spear and things like that. And you get a Longfang Ancient is apparently a thing you can get as well.
At least they didn't give him a Thunder Hammer and called it like Mjolnir or something.
Oh, let's have a look. I don't think there are Thunder Hammers in the game actually, which is a pity because I do always approve of any excessive use of hammers.
Yeah, basically, every time I go and play Space Marine, I play the 2 Jump Pack Thunder Hammer missions.
Yeah.
Because they are just the most glorious murder.
Yeah. Why is the Devastator called Child? The Space Wolf one, I didn't notice that. Let's have a look. No, they don't have any specific names. I'm confused. Unless this is someone who's translating something that is in some vaguely Nordic things, not speaking any of it.
Yeah, I can't help, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Oh wait, I thought if you could speak French, then you could automatically speak, Swedish and Danish and Norwegian and Finnish.
Well, it's interesting you mention that because it is thought that if you can get a grasp of French or Italian or Spanish, the Romance languages kind of help each other. This is not particularly true, I can attest, because I cannot follow pretty much a single word that the Italians and Spanish on my corridor say, but then again, sometimes I need to ask the French to repeat themselves, so... Apparently it's the Ultramarine Oko-san means child in some language.
Oh, actually, for all the times we've used Oko-san, I've never looked up what it meant, because I always just assumed it was just a Japanese name. I did not know that. I did not know it meant child. That makes a lot of sense.
Your battle brother has crash-landed and alerted the enemy.
The weird little bird that we use for everything. Yeah, I didn't know that. Learn something new every day.
Yep. Absolutely.
Keep Flappy Mouth alive for 10 turns. Good. That's what it told me to do. I'm glad I changed his name now. I'm glad I changed his name. So I've just got to... Okay, so I've got to get him to safety and keep him alive. Well, he's probably the one who's in the best position to.
Do you get to control him so he can defend himself while you get to him, or is he literally just action?
Yeah, no, you have control over him, so...
Good.
Because otherwise that would be a bit of a pisser.
Yeah, because I mean, like, Space Marines are not perfect, but they are pretty resilient.
Yeah. It's like, if we get into, like, cannon and stuff, like, yeah, he could probably survive for the 5 minutes whilst I get to him, and if he's only fighting gaunts, but...
Yeah, does this game throw anything other than gaunts at you?
There are... I know there's Tyranid Warriors in it, because there's some in the first mission. And I've heard there's like 2 other types. I don't know what they are. I would assume, since we're on a Space Hulk right now, that there are Gene Stealers. If there's not, then they've really missed a trick. But
honestly, if it's a Space Hulk, why is there anything other than Gene Stealers on it?
I think it's a very complex lore reason that you might not be aware of. I believe it's because they had the models.
Quite.
Yeah. Also, I did fist that Tyranid in the face, so that's good.
Honestly, I feel like the final boss, obviously, if there is a final boss, it'll either be a Broodlord or it'll be something like a Hive Tyrant, one of the two.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Also, someone makes a good point that if that's a Space Hulk, that's a very clean-looking Space Hulk with its masonry flooring.
I don't know, maybe all the people are dead, but the, I don't know, whatever the Mechanicum have as the equivalent of Roombas is still functional.
And apparently they make their ships with masonry.
Okay, I'm going to say that is only in the list of stupid things the Imperium would do. That's like about 25 down on the list.
This is a valid point. This is a very valid point.
Let's just put a cathedral on top of a spaceship. Why? Looks cool.
Yeah, let's literally turn our most powerful war machine into a fucking cathedral, because why the cocking hell not?
Yeah. Why are they in Space Marine armor and not Terminator? Because they didn't have the money to model them. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the things with this game, that's like the entire reason for all of the flaws of it, is just they don't have any money. Longfang had actually mentioned to me earlier, apparently the devs went out of, like, they don't make games anymore because of how poorly this, like, did.
Ouch.
And I would feel sorry for them if, again, the game didn't get released on Steam for 20 quid. Which is...
Well, I mean, what would you have preferred?
Well, the mobile version was like 2.
Yeah, I'm seeing the problem.
Yeah, so the removal of microtransactions, great, but when the other side of that is that, yeah, they haven't really done much to the game, and it's still, you know, and they haven't even rebalanced it properly for it, and the port's not particularly great either, so it's a bit of an issue, is the thing, yeah.
Yeah, like, when you say 20 quid for a game, you think, okay, that's not bad, because, like, most games charge 40 quid. I nearly said 40 or $60, which is correct, but I then nearly said 40 or 60 quid, which is wrong. Yeah, I get it.
And I mean, because it puts it out of the price range of most of the other 40k games that are of this kind of ilk, like your Regicides and Sanctus Reach and stuff, which are all around the £15 mark, I think.
Yeah, Regicide on paper seems like a really fun concept, but I don't get it.
It fits into the category of something that is far better than it should be, but also is not something that I will spend any amount of time playing. Which is, yeah, it's fine. It's kind of fun for the novelty, but I think the problem is that the parts where it's just chess is obviously just chess. You know, it works as well as chess does, and you've just got the outrageous aesthetic on top of it, which is a lot of fun. But the other side being that, yeah, you also have the parts where it actually rolls for things, and it's all percentages, so the really strict, defined rules of chess suddenly get an element of dice rolling into it.
Which
screws with the whole purpose of chess. So they're kind of a little bit at odds.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the whole chess thing, because I had a game of 40k which actually played very much like a game of chess.
Mm.
In that I think my opponent advanced the unit a little too far. I charged it, killed it. He charged me, killed me. I charged him back, killed his thing, got charged back, died. It was just like, you take, I take, you take, I take. Units just don't stick around in 8th edition anymore. These were
Yeah.
30-man boy squads and 10 and 12-man Khorne Berserker squads. They weren't nothing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the follow. What was that? Darius something? The text, the font that we use for that, I really need to change it. I can never fucking read it.
Yeah, I think someone actually, as a result of this, has followed me on Twitch, despite the fact I never stream on Twitch.
It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, I did really. It was kind of interesting to play this kind of game, but where your movements are restricted to the chess moves. It was a very interesting idea, because it makes you think about this type of game in such a different way.
Mm.
But of course, in practice, it just felt a bit weird. But still, yeah, it was a funny one. Like many 40k games, it fits into the, well, if you've got some money and you fancy playing a game and you know what you're getting into, you know.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I've sort of given up hope of a good 40k game at this point. Well, maybe not given up hope, but...
I think it's going to be a bit before we get something that's... I don't think we're going to get a big fancy game again. We're going to get lots of stuff like this, which, to be fair, I'm okay with, like, especially if they are charged at reasonable prices. Because I mean, like, this is on Humble Bundle right now for £1.80, which is totally acceptable. That's
and it's
good.
Still in spirit. It still feels like a 40k. Like it plays right.
Yeah. But getting something like getting something akin to Space Marine again, it's going to be a long time before anything like that occurs again, because you need to get someone crazy like THQ to get behind the idea again.
Yeah, it's amazing how much THQ I actually grew up on, because I bought a bunch of the Power Ranger games for the Game Boy.
Christ, yeah.
And they were all THQ, and it didn't really hit me until like Space Marine. I was like, these are the same people.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, because I mean, THQ, which, very little known fact, actually stands for Toy Headquarters, is what THQ stands for. Because they got into, they made lots of, physical toys and things for stuff. Back in the day, and then they got really heavy into licensed stuff. So lots of people have played their stuff because they've played the licensed games of something they like. So they did wrestling, they did even stuff like Rugrats and things like that. They did many licensed games for things, and of course the 40k series, they made nearly every one of the really good 40k games. So,
well, I thought they were just the publisher rather than the actual.
Well, yeah. I mean, they were the ones that bankrolled it more accurately. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, an AOS Silver Tower dungeon crawler. Because that's basically what Silver Tower is.
Yeah.
For those who don't know Age of Sigmar, it's kind of like a dungeon style game where you generate random enemies, and then there's bosses, and you have a band of heroes. Like, I don't think I quite want a Darkest Dungeon, but that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
We also have, there's Warhammer Quest though. Actually, now that I think about it,
I haven't played the game of that. I don't know if it's any good, because I'm not a fantasy guy. So
no, me neither.
Well, or Sigmar. So I've never really, I've never really played any of the games apart from Warhammer Arcane Magic, which is a terrible game that no one should ever buy. I bought it the same day as buying this, and whereas I'm playing this now for 2 hours, and perfectly content with the time that I've spent doing so, I think I spent about half an hour playing Warhammer Arcane Magic and was like, I'm never opening this game again.
Ouch.
It's just...
That is a condemnation if I ever heard one.
It's just so basic, so...
Well, you've played the Total Warhammer games, haven't you?
I
know
played
you
the first one a
Total
bit.
Warhammer 1.
Yeah, I've only played the first one.
You planning to look at 2?
Probably at some point, but again, not really big. And having never really played the Total War games as well, it's like we don't really.
I've drawn a bit of inspiration because I've said it many times. I've watched a lot of Many a True Nerd, and he loves his he loves his Rome Total War and his heavy cavalry, and that is pretty much the exact reason why I now have Draco's cavalry. Is literally him playing chunky heavy cavalry. It was like, shit, I want chunky heavy cavalry.
Yeah, no, I get that. What do you think of the GW WizKids game deal? Oh, yeah, they did some weird hero clicksy type thing.
Not looked at it. I mean, GW's been looking into the toy stores before it's happened before. But yeah.
Like, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I can totally see that working, because, you know, ultimately, if you can make a more affordable version of what 40k is at its heart, then you're going to attract a lot of people, because fundamentally, why do people stop playing Warhammer? And it's nearly always the same reason.
Money.
It was too expensive.
Yeah, there's probably about 3 reasons why people will give up the hobby. One is money. One is to be stereotypical. The wife told them to.
Oh, yeah.
To be stereotypical and wrong.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like they've got no one to play with anymore. Yeah,
that's probably a good cross section of reasoning.
Or there's just the rage quit.
Oh,
you know. The salt-filled rage quit of, I don't like the new edition, I'm off, bye. Yeah, see ya. See ya later.
You see, the thing, I never really understood that, because especially like if you've got a group of friends, like, you know, nothing's stopping you playing whatever edition you want. There's people who to this day still play AD&D, and that came out in like, what was AD&D like the early 80s? So...
Before my time, whatever it was.
Yeah, it's like, you can totally just play the old editions. The first game of 40k that we played, like me and Snipe played together, because I played it back in 3rd, and I still had all the stuff. And if I remember rightly, it was sort of, I think the reason why we started playing it was something to do with like a 40k cosplay that she saw. And was like, this is the raddest shit, what is this? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, this is 40k, I've got a bunch. Do you want to have, like... I've still got all the rules, and it was like for 3rd edition, but this was like in 2008. It's like...
5th edition was about to come out.
Yeah, it's like, you can totally just play old editions if you want to.
Yeah, the ultimate argument for that is you don't get the support for it. So like, there's 9th Age, which is like, basically every fantasy player's rage quit.
Yeah.
Where they play an updated fantasy as opposed to Age of Sigmar, because they don't like Age of Sigmar, which they really... If you're a 40k player and you don't like Age of Sigmar, I've had this rant before, not going to go there. But it's one of those things. Also, the line of sight mechanics in this game are fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like it's weird, like each gaunt that moves changes your line of sight. It's like the gaunts are blocking your line of sight, but not.
Yeah, I think it's because the line of sight is so rigid on a tile-based system that it's like such a percentage. It must be like, once you can see a percentage of that tile, then it counts as being seen or whatever. So you end up with this thing where you can't see what's going off when you really should be able to, but also sometimes you can see things you probably shouldn't be able to.
Yeah, it's just while you were talking, I was watching the Tyranids move, and I was like, why is the line of sight doing this?
Yeah. But, oh, okay. Just moving over there to go and see that one Tyranid who was approaching. I think I've only got like 1 or 2 turns left now. And Flappy Mouth has survived perfectly fine. Oh yeah, I've only got to keep him alive for 1 more turn. Good. Which I realised that where it says that is actually behind the webcam. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm the worst.
That's the problem with games with like a really wide, awkward UI. It's like, where do you put the face cam?
Yeah. I mean, some of them are really bad, where it's just like there's something in every corner, and you just have to like do a kind of value proposition thing of go, okay, which is the corner that I need the least.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some people have those green screen things where they can sort of half get away with it, but
Yeah.
that's expensive. Sorry, there's a person's name in the chat which is Control Alt Give Up. I just keep seeing it. I'm like, that's hilarious.
But yeah, like I mean, I guess it is awkward. Like if your group of friends, like none of them want to play like an old edition, then yeah, you are kind of stuck playing whatever edition they want to play. It's like if all your friends have all moved on to play like a different MMO or like a different shooter or whatever, then you are kind of stuck doing whatever they do, I guess.
It is. Speaking of classics and stuff, I don't know if you are a WoW person, but that's getting its old classic thing back, isn't it? Which is, I mean, I've never even... the most I know of Warcraft is Hearthstone, so I don't particularly care, but...
Oh, and yes, Ted Faster, the guy I'm supposed to protect is technically on the front line, but also... oh, you can't... I wondered if they could do it, if they could actually heal themselves, but they cannot. But yeah, he is on the front line, but also the game is not particularly difficult. So,
are you playing this on like max difficulty? Or
no, it's it's just the basic difficulty because I don't have access to the more complicated ones yet. Let's heal him. Yeah, you go. There he is. He's fully healed. But yeah, Warcraft is getting back its like legacy servers. I mean, I started playing in my first attempts at playing it were in like I think it was late Burning Crusade.
Right.
Or early Wrath. I can't remember because I was just playing like trial things, and I hated it. I hated it so much. But then I played the full thing in Cataclysm and kind of got into it. I got to a point where I was just like, yeah, no, I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I've given up on Hearthstone, and mainly because it's like I was playing free to play and I didn't have time.
Yeah. I just realised I have really fucked up. There's all these guys are shooters, and they're just all lined up to shoot at me.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's fine. The AI is not very smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Snipe still plays WoW, and apparently like I haven't played anything of the expansion that's currently going on, which is Legion still.
Yeah, it's Legion, and it's about to be Battle for Azeroth.
Yeah, Battle for Azeroth, or to put it another way, we have completely run out of ideas, so let's just go back to the basic premise of the setting.
Yeah. To be fair, though, it seemed like it was a very good BlizzCon in general. Because, I mean, Hearthstone got a new expansion, which looks pretty damn fun, and Overwatch, okay, it didn't quite get like as much of an event like it always does, but that was a fucking good short.
Oh yeah, I do really like the short. Because I mean, speaking, I mentioned earlier, like I'm a big fan of like hammers, especially in a sci-fi setting as weapons, because of the most impractical bullshit. So to have a character wield two of them at once that are also rocket propelled, yes, that's like you've just made something for me, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I've never played Overwatch. I probably never will, but I kind of got a little bit invested in like how it works and the lore of it. I can't believe I'm saying that. I got invested in the lore of the damn thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've played a shit ton of Overwatch over the years. Well, I say over the years, it's been out like a year and a half, but
details.
Yeah, details. But yeah, I really, really like Overwatch. So it's been nice to see, and I do really like the shorts. I find out I apparently have something wrong with my soul because they're the only piece of media that for some reason make me feel anything.
Admittedly, yeah, I watched the Reinhardt short and I was like, okay. Shit, son. Yeah,
I mean the May one and the Bastion ones are also like...
I wasn't so bad on the May one, and I have seen the Bastion one. I didn't pay too much attention to it.
They do a really good job of making you empathise with a character who, in-game, you hate.
Yeah, Tracer, May, Widowmaker. Because, I mean, Alive, if you watch Alive, Jesus. Then again, I kind of don't want to say this live on stream, but I am kind of a bad Widow Tracer shipper, so...
I mean, I'm not going to say that such things make you literally human garbage. Because, I mean, that would be a horrible thing to say, wouldn't it? I mean, what kind of a person would I be?
But...
Although I go more for a pharmacy myself.
Oh, I would find it hilarious. Like, where did pharmacy come from? It's like, because Widow Tracer comes from Alive, that's obvious. But like, is pharmacy out of the gamers have done that, or is there like something that makes people do that?
Oh, I mean, actually, I don't really. I'm not really a shipper in general. I don't really have it. But the reason for that one is due to the fact that in game they have really good synergy together. So.
Oh yeah, I know the pharmacy is something that the gamers talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the one that confuses me the most, and I've seen this more than once, is that someone's mentioned it in the chat, it's like McCree and Hanzo. What the fuck is that all about?
I have no idea.
I don't know where that one came from.
As far as I can tell, there's literally no reason for it, because some of them I kind of understand, even if it's not my kind of thing, I do get it. Like, some people ship McCree and Hanzo. Not McCree and Hanzo, McCree and May. Which makes sense because canonically May does really like cowboy movies. That's where that comes from. So there's at least something.
And some of them are just really... And apparently the voice actresses for Sombra and Symmetra like ship each other really hard.
That would not surprise me. Quite a lot of them seem to get on quite well, which is always fun to see.
But the two of them actually ship Symmetra and Sombra, which is I find just... interesting.
Oh, I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but I feel I should point this out about the game. When an enemy's corpse is there, even though you've killed it, and so it's technically not a game like critical item, it's literally just an aesthetic piece of gubbins. It's a physical object, so you can't do anything through it. You can't move onto that location or anything.
But I'm watching them all despawn, so
yeah, it makes.
So why should it?
It's stupid, dumb bullshit. And it needs to stop.
Yeah. Also, sorry chat, I completely derailed the stream now. Even more than I already did.
Because of the shipping. It's fine. It's fine.
Honest, I think I'm kind of probably venting my unchecked anger about the people who ship Gilliman and Ivrain. She's like, that actually genuinely annoys me.
Yeah, I mean... It's right. The people will ship basically everything. I mean, it's one of those things. When I was a bit younger, like this sort of stuff used to get under my skin a bit. But the one thing that I have got as I've got older is I don't care about whatever anyone else does unless it hurts someone.
Yeah.
So it's like. I think what you like, when it comes to a lot of ships and stuff, it's like I think what you're doing is dumb, but like all power to you. Like you probably think all the things I like are dumb, like
Oh yeah, like I have a lot of varied taste, and some of it most people will probably find weird. I mean, I'm a bloody Warhammer YouTuber for a start.
Yeah, you've basically proven that you're not a functional human being. That's what that means.
Yeah, I have proved myself to be completely dysfunctional, but like.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, everyone's into their own weird shit. It's fine. 76 Diva ship is slightly horrifying because
that creep. I refuse. Like, no.
That is not allowed.
Yeah, if you the only person I think I'll I think. From what I've seen, like people ship Diva with Lucio and Sombra, and that's the only ones that are acceptable.
Yeah. Oh shit! I've just realised something that I've spent this entire thing and haven't noticed.
What have you done?
The Power Fist, because it's so powerful, I think that takes 2 hits two of action points to use. So I thought I had enough to move him into the thing, so I'd finish this turn, but apparently not.
Oops.
Good. Oh, Oh, apparently, even though there's defined spaces, anything in between those spaces is fine too.
Yeah, Ivrain is that new Eldar special character who's a walking plot device, yes. Seriously, like, she is the biggest plot hole in the universe right now.
Well, that's it. It's 40k has been stuck in the same place canonically for so long. They're like, we need to create someone whose entire function is to drag this thing kicking and screaming by like 200 years in one direction.
Yeah. It's just, it had to happen. And it's just, like, it had to be the Eldar, didn't it? It had to be.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense, because a lot of the time they kind of, because they are the dying race, they've taken a back seat to a lot of stuff because it's not their time. So,
I mean, the Harlequin... Oh, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Harlequins actually were the first ones to give a hint, because if you read the 7th edition Harlequins Codex, buried at the back of the lore section, they talk about this book in the Black Library. It's wrapped in basically light, and as things have fallen into place, these strands of light have fallen away. And when the last one disappeared, at some point the book flew open, and it's basically detailing Chegarak's grand plan, and the Harlequins are now executing it.
Okay.
Which, it doesn't canonically state that it's Inaid, because this was before Inaid was a thing. But it was... Oh no, I'm now seeing that I'm now seeing your 2 action point fuck up.
Yeah. Christ, it's running a bit behind, isn't it? Christ.
Yeah. Maybe my stream's a little bit delayed.
Sometimes it ends up being like a minute behind, and there's no seeming thing.
And yes, Chegarak's thing is the great book of just as planned, except it's written by Chegarak, not Zinj.
Should have been Gazkul who brought Guilliman back. I'd like the idea of him doing it by accident. Finds this huge thing that's just got a big button on it that says resurrect Guilliman or whatever. Plot device button.
Yeah.
And rather than and because he can't fucking read it, because he's Gazkul, he just goes, I wonder what this does, and presses it, and then Guilliman comes back and he's like, ah, shit.
Gazkul would just be like, yes.
Actually, he'd just go, okay, this looks like this kid looks like he's good for fighting.
This is the biggest Space Marine I done ever seen. I want his head.
It's like, I'm gonna let you go, and you can make some even bigger and more powerful Space Marines so that I can fight them.
Quite.
Basically, what he did with what's his face, Yarrick. Of go away, get stronger. I know you can do it. I believe in you, man.
It was more like, I want a proper fight when I get to Armageddon, so I'm going to let you go to Armageddon. When you get to Armageddon, I can have a proper fight when I fight Armageddon. Also, yes, press F to unpause story.
Good.
And yes, Gazkul is actually extremely intelligent, so...
Yeah, to be fair.
Gazkul is extremely intelligent. I don't know quite if he's on the Beasts level, but he's up there.
But we are still dealing within Orc levels.
Yes, we are.
Which is, God, I do love my Orcs. I need to have another game with them.
Honestly, where is Wazdaka?
Oh shit, yeah, has he not got rules anymore? I never looked it up.
No, he was in the 4th Ed Codex, he was taken out in 6th.
Shit, oh.
He went, Zogwart went, so basically the only ones who survived was Gaz, Grotsnick, Zagstruck and Stickrot, and Badruk survived, but no Waz and no Zog.
I mean, from a selfish level, I'm slightly happy considering that those are the ones that I've actually got models for are all the ones that still exist, but...
Well, that's because they had models.
Yeah. I did nearly make a Wazdaka one, actually.
I have 2.
I've made the bike, which I made from a Space Marine bike, but extended it and mounted all manner of shit to it.
Oh, mine is glorious. Mine is basically just a war bike, but... Instead of putting the Daka guns on the back, I took the 2 double Daka guns and stuck them on the front, on the front wheel.
Yeah.
And then put a Lego brick on the base to make it look like he was riding off a cliff because I wanted to reenact the thing where he flew off a cliff into the head of a Titan.
Yeah.
And then I put a knob's head on, put a top knot on that, and that was my Wazdaka.
Nice.
Because I love the story of the Titan, where this Titan is slaughtering the entire cult of speed, and Wazdaka goes up the top of this cliff, drives off the cliff, files through the Titan's void shields, catches fire, crashes into the Titan's head while still on fire.
I like the being on fire thing is what makes it great.
Watches the entire crew of the Titan while still on fire, and then mounts the skulls, which are still on fire, on the back of his bike, and they're still on fire to this day. I know he doesn't have rules, and I'm sad.
Because he was great.
He was shit. He had no invulnerable save.
Well, terrible from a rules perspective, but just from the lore thing, I do just look at that. It's like, yeah, he's still on fire. Or the skulls are still on fire. Like, okay. Are you going to explain that? Like, no, they just... It's orcs happened. Like, good. I'm happy. We need more Inquisitor Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau. Where did he go after Rogue Trader? He's still working in the background, is my personal interpretation.
It is Sanguinius, of course. He was the most beloved.
I want Doom Rider. Doom Rider's dead.
I, unironically, love Doom Rider. He's the dumbest. And I think just the concept of him, of being like, oh yeah, he just appears and disappears, not really at your control at all. I think it's the orc player in me, just loves that as a concept.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. I think I'll do this mission and then I'll probably call this a day.
Fadoos. And yes, demon princes can actually die. Demon princes kind of break the rules of demon logic, where, as in, the only thing that can kill them is the god themselves. Demon princes sort of are their own like pocket rule set.
I guess it probably kind of works on the general basis of them being not fully demonic and all that.
Yeah, partially.
Okay, let's move on forward. Because the apothecary goes first, right? That's how war works.
That's how logic makes.
Yeah. In fairness, if it was a sanguinary priest going first, I can totally buy that being a thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's just got a bit angry. Just let him do his thing. Jurgen the Self-Aware seems to be living up to his name. Of course. Oh, they're appearing behind me. Well, that's just unfair. It's like playing Doom 3 again and all the imps just appear behind you and try and give you a prostate exam, and I'm very upset by it. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. Once again, because I was talking, I don't actually know the what it wants me to do. All I know is that I need to get to these 2 points. So that's the thing.
We need more Xenos character models. Yes, we cocky.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, I mean, Tau have got... Actually, no, Tau have got 5. Orcs have got 5. Dark Eldar have got 3. Because they got culled in the 7th edition Codex. Like, seriously, the character roster in the 5th ed Codex, you had Vect, Malice, Karadruak, Hesperax, Rakarth, Sathonix, Sliskus... I might even be missing one, but you had like 7 or 8 characters.
Christ.
And now there's only 3. So Lady Malice, who is probably the coolest character I've ever come across outside of the orcs, was cut because like this is someone who met Chegarak and out-riddled Chegarak and now has Chegarak's heart, kinda. And is able to outthink even Vect, is the only person who can outthink Vect. And the 2 of them are kind of fighting over Kane's Gate, not realizing what's going on, or at least that was the case before the Fracture of Biel-Tan. And 2 life signs show, you can hear 2 voices in her chambers, even though there's only 1 heartbeat and life sign, because, you know, she's talking to fucking Chegarak. She's just such a cool character. She was immune to psychic powers because of it, and just, why did she have to get cut? Also, she's basically fucking Katana because she had a fan.
Excellent.
Her main weapon was a fan.
To the Inquisition, whether we are of the Deathwatch or not.
Oh, I'm planting bombs is what I'm doing in this mission, apparently.
Right.
I've now found this out. Because I just planted one, which apparently Jurgen was storing somewhere. Probably doesn't bear thinking about too much. Okay. I realise that I have not actually used my healing ability from my Sanguinary Priest once since I've unlocked it.
And that's because the game is too damn easy.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it doesn't let you play on the more difficult modes until you've, you know, like, I think it's like you have to get to like a certain level before it lets you even try them.
Ah, right.
So it's like, okay, but it does mean that, yeah, these things are a little bit on the easy side.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't mind, like, you know, for my purposes of playing it on stream, that's great, but, you know.
Yeah, I don't like the I don't know if I like the idea of the game forcing you to play on a lower difficulty to unlock higher difficulties, because like maybe you want to put like the highest of the highest difficulty, like BioShock's 1999 mode or something.
Yeah,
you might want to blanket that behind a New Game Plus, but I think the fact that New Game Plus exists means that why would you want to blanket your difficulties?
yeah. I've never really liked that because it means that, like, because I'll normally just play through on normal on any game. I'm one of life's normal players. Like, I like, there's a game that I might go back and play on hard afterwards, but I won't. Like, I won't play on easy unless the game is super difficult, and I just can't be arsed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to have something like this, it means that if you want to play the normal mode, and presumably therefore get more experience and stuff, which I assume what you'll get from them, you have to beat the game, well, you've got to beat a significant portion of the game to even attempt it, which is like, what if I don't want to ever play the game again after playing it, which, you know, is a very real concern with a game like this that's, you know, not the shortest. If it's like only a couple of hours long, then that's one thing, but it's not. It's just a bit of a weird one, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I have no qualms playing Space Marine through multiple times. In fact, I don't think I've ever beat the game on hard mode, because the one time I tried was when I got the Yellow Light of Death.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I think that's fate telling me something.
I think I've only beaten it like twice. I think I beat it. Actually, no. I think I only ever played through the whole thing myself once. So we played through it on one of our earliest videos.
Yeah.
Was playing through we played through the whole game and split it into 3 little videos. Before we realised that is a massive sink of time and resources to make them like that.
Yeah.
So, you've got to spend 8 hours playing, and then God knows how much time editing that to make like 15 minutes of content. Like, yeah, maybe that's not the best use of our resources. But yeah, it is a good game, and every now and again I'll go back and play it. We've played it on stream numerous times, and like occasionally I'll just play it for like half an hour or something, just play through the missions that I like, and sort of just go for it. It is a good little game. It's not without its flaws, but
oh god, no! It's extremely linear, which is fine. Your weapon selection basically boils down to, well, I always sniped, but
the thing that I like the best is how it has exposition corridors.
Oh god, the exposition corridors.
Where you know that nothing is going to happen because they're talking to you over the radio. And rather than do what a lot of games do, which is they'll slow you down to walk through those areas, which is frustrating in and of itself, but they just let you walk through large sections, so you end up just being these corridors where they talk at you in between battle arenas.
Just to make sure you don't miss any of that critical exposition.
Which it's like, I'm not being funny, Relic, but I have played 40k games before. I know what your story is, because orcs attack Forge World, and whoops, actually Chaos are there. That's the story you've used about 5 times. I get it. Or sometimes, if they were feeling kinky, it'll be the Eldar are there instead.
I get that. It's not particularly riveting. The problem is that the exposition they gave wasn't particularly good flavor text.
No.
Like if you went out of your way to get those Servo Skull collectibles, they were actually decent flavor text. They were interesting collectibles, but the actual exposition you got from Leandros and Sidonus was basically pointless.
Yeah, they kind of told you stuff, and you're like, yeah, okay, I get it. This is again, it's like, yeah, I know what 40k is. Thank you. Like, and again, not like terrible or anything. Actually, I'm gonna find what this thing does. I've got a big explodey thing. I don't know what it does, so let's find out. Oh, it's like a crazy heavy plasma shot. Okay. Well, now I know. Let's use this grenade as well, because they're quite good. But yeah, I mean, I do really like Space Marine, and it does sadden me that, yeah, we'll never get Space Marine 2 and 3.
It's so well set up.
Because I think it had the real chance of. It would be one of those things where I think there would be numerous events where what's happening canonically would be, like, from a lore perspective, complete bullshit.
Yes.
But I think it would have been a really interesting ride to see them try it, you know?
Oh yeah, like, I mean, it's funny, like, how much Relic and Canon very much. Relic play fast and loose with the cannon at the best of times.
Oh yeah. I mean, hell, I much prefer how they show Grey Knights as just being like an addendum to a force. I vastly prefer that to them as a full force, to be honest.
Yeah, and I love how they had the balls to kill off Asdrubal Vect.
Yeah.
Canonically, kill off Asdrubal Vect.
I was always the thing when a character from the mainline canon showed up, it was always like a big deal because they kept them so squirreled away most of the time. Okay.
And to be honest, actually, you have to actually, no, I told a lie. I was about to say that the Dawn of War games cannot be considered canon because of Okais, but Okais survived even if the Tau lost, so never mind.
Okay.
Then again,
Okay, I've got myself to a safe distance and nothing is happening.
Vect is not dead. What happened, I think, is in Soulstorm, if you beat the Dark Eldar base, Vect attempted to flee in his custom raider, the Days of Destruction, and it was then destroyed.
Okay.
I think. I've not played Soulstorm, I played Dark Crusade, but I believe that's how it went.
That's because Dark Crusade is the vastly superior game.
Oh, Dark Crusade is fantastic.
I love Dark Crusade. So I'm guessing there's a certain amount of turns I have to wait until this explosion happens. It just, I don't believe, has told me how many turns that is. Which is an issue because my characters are totally in positions that are terrible.
Got to drag out the length of the game in an obligatory defend your position segment.
Yeah. Which, considering about 80% of the game has been that so far. Yeah, I do need to move submarines around. Yeah, because just get to a safe distance and Oh, there we go. It's because the camera was up. I couldn't actually see where the fucking thing is.
I just went 2 beats and a half twice.
That's all I had to do. I had to move them. I couldn't see from the perspective that I was at. And unlike the other one, where I could be really vague with where I placed them, that was precise. Good. Although I like that the explosions that are happening, they're actually showing the damage they're doing to the NIDs, and it's doing 99999 damage. So that's pretty fun. Got me a frag grenade. Yeah, it is there. There's people saying, yeah, that is a bit from a design perspective. I mean, I guess I could have just been spinning the camera around, but because it has like a nearly directly above view, there's no reason to spin the camera around other than just for shits and giggles. But that was like the one time that was necessary. Christ. Anyway, I will. I've got enough for one last pack, so let's do an unboxing video.
Actually, that probably didn't show up on the microphone, did it?
No, I heard it. Was that a drum roll? Okay, let's see what I get. I'm tap the pack to open. Moloch's Gift, a very cool bolter. Nice, and it isn't restricted, so that's just for anyone.
Moloch. There's Arthas Moloch and there's Moleg. I don't think there's a world called Moloch, to my knowledge.
I'll have a look. Let's see, does it give me any details? No, it's just a good bolter. I've got a veteran Space Wolf. I'll have a proper look at him in a second. That's cool. And Oath of Vengeance, Purity Seal. Cool. Okay, let's have a look-see at this Jurgen Thunderclaw. Actually, he looks pretty rad. It's doing a thing where it sometimes latches onto your mouse cursor, so that you can't control how they're spinning around very well, because it's a well-designed game. But yeah, he's pretty rad. He's cool. Does he have Fenris written on his chest plate? Yeah, for the same reason of the Dark Angel thing had Azrael written on his gun in case he forgot his chapter master. This was like in if lost, please return to, you know. And Fenris, so yeah. That's my in-depth headcanon anyway. So yeah, as I said before, yeah. If this looks fun to you, then yeah, there is. It is cheap right now. I wouldn't normally harp on it so much, but because it's quite expensive normally, yeah. Yeah, feel free to check it out. It's not a bad little game. It's not fantastic, but it's not bad either. Thank you for joining me, and thank you, Michael, for this impromptu pseudo podcasty like stream.
Yeah, I thought it seemed like you were just like you were chilling and you said you were on your own, you weren't gonna have Snipe. I just thought I'd mention it on Skype. I was like, do you want me to dive in? And then Snipe, I thought you had had it, and then Snipe just walked in. I was like, oh, is that me? And I was like, uh-oh. But yeah, it was a good talk, and if this conversation has been worthy enough that people want me to join the Misanthropod one time, then I'll consider it.
Hey, sure, yeah, that'll be fun. We'll have to sort that out sometime. We are meaning to sort out getting some more guests on it here and there. So
yeah, I mean, we would invite you on Adeptus Podcastus, but you've been on like 4 times at this point.
We did really because we went on the one time that was like, yeah, whatever, yeah, come on, and then there was like, what was it, like 2 weeks after
the
or whatever, when
straight up, yeah, there was the one that was a bit out of nowhere. It was like we want Alexis in here. We need a guest, and you were just around.
Yeah,
and then
so
it was the live one, and you were straight in after that. It was just perfect timing.
See, we managed to get to this point where anyone that watches that listens to the podcasters either liked us, and so we gained the subs from it, or hates us, and we ruined your podcast and not ours. So, you know.
Yeah, whereas now I have the chance to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, we'll have to get you on. I'll have a bit of a look and see what sort of schedule and stuff, 'cause that'll be fun.
Sure thing. I'll attempt to keep my diary as clear as possible between 5 3-hour exams in 3 days.
Yeah, well, our next one is coming out on Monday, and then it'll be 2 weeks from now. So I'll have a word with people and we'll see what time we'll be recording and see if you can do that.
Yeah, Remlays and I and Alexis will be releasing Adeptus Podcast this Wednesday morning this week as well, because we both upload the same week.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that there's 3 like 40k YouTuber podcasts, because there's ours, there's Zoran's, and there's yours.
Well, in fairness, ours is supposed to be a video game podcast, but normally we just talk shit about nothing.
That's fair. That's more than fair.
We operate in a strange thing where we're technically a video game channel who also does the 40k stuff on the side, But everyone knows us for the 40k stuff, and our podcast is largely about us nattering about anything, and a large portion of it is either us talking about D&D or me complaining about Star Trek.
That's a problem because I never played D&D, nor do I watch Star Trek.
Oh no, it's fine. It's like it's just a reoccurring thing. I talk about sci-fi a lot on these things, so whatever sci-fi I've been watching,
I'll attempt to keep up.
It's fine. It's fine. We honestly we just talk about whatever we've been up to and whatever that is, whether it
That's
be
fair.
yeah. We don't have a nice structured idea like you guys have, you know.
We have a couple of basic things that we talk about, and that's it. Like, I think we kind of based our way between the co-optional podcast and before the Emperor had a podcast, but what the Emperor does. Because like, we discuss the news of what's going on, and we take questions from the chat, which is always interesting. And then we have the rant of the week, because normally one of us gets pissed off about one thing or another.
That's also I enjoy my out of context Star Trek images. I'm glad. Yeah, the dumb stuff I keep posting on Twitter. There's actually, I'm actually just going to quickly check this now. I am currently working on a new Star Trek video for my side channel where I can talk about this crap and not annoy anyone.
Yeah, I love how you guys have got you've got the Snipe and Whip channel that everybody knows, and still have your own side. That you each have your own Twitter accounts where you do your own thing, and then you seem to both have your own channels half the time. It's like, how do you find the time to do this shit?
Well, the point of the thing is, in 6 months, I've uploaded 4 videos to my own channel, which I think probably suggests why.
Right.
It's mostly so that I can stuff that wouldn't fit on the main channel, you know.
Yeah.
Because we're already fairly diverse in what's on it, so we kind of worry a bit about alienating people too much sometimes. Because, I could just go and upload I did a video. My first video on my channel was about the continuity in the Godzilla movies, and it's
right.
that might be a bit too specific for a video gamey 40k kind of channel. And although we have done some Godzilla stuff on there, there's such a wide variety of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So my channel specifically, I know Snipes as well, was set up very much for stuff that we wanted to do, but a little bit less. Intentional. Also, to be a little real about it for a second, we also have absolutely shocking mental health, and we both feel that no one watches the Snipe and Wib channel. I think people watch the Snipe and Wib channel for Snipe, and she thinks they watch it for me, and that everyone hates, whoever's thinking about it. So doing our own channels helps us kind of break that cycle of that people can enjoy our own stuff.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, I can't really comment on that because maybe it's just because I'm too stubborn for anything else, but I don't really have the same problems like that. But I can see the idea of wanting to break a cycle and do something on your own. And honestly, I like the idea of having a second channel completely for random musings or whatever, but I'm not an interesting enough person.
Oh, no. The thing, and by the way, thank you everyone for the lovely messages. Thank you. I'm glad, and yes, it is true that everyone just watches it for Drum and Matt on the podcast. That is it. It's all for him. It's all to hear him how he's struggling to learn French because he's in France too, and that's what everyone watches for. And to hear him say that he hasn't played a video game in months.
Well, if he wants a bilingual misanthropod, he can try. I'll attempt.
Hey,
that would be cocking hilarious. It's just like he can introduce and he'll try to speak in French, and I'll just do my introduction, and I'll just go on, and you two will just right.
I mean, hell, you've been doing videos in French, haven't you?
I have a Age of Sigmar hobby project, and I'm doing both French and English for that, and my battle reports are bilingual as well.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous, man. That's really cool. And I do wonder, because obviously your channel is, it's let's to make it broadly, you can put up stuff there that's all tabletop gaming. So if you wanted to,
I could branch out. Yes.
Yeah, if you wanted to do like you want to play Dead Zone or any of the Mantic stuff, really, you could go and do that or do.
We've actually had discussions about that amongst me and my friends about picking up Dead Zone or Dreadball, particularly before Blood Bowl was a thing.
Yeah,
of looking into stuff like that, but we never did anything with it because
I've played one game of Dead Zone. I quite like it. But...
Wait, don't call it the Broken French podcast. My French is actually all right. You put down the melt.
But yeah, I mean, I can imagine like if you sometimes there is that feeling of like, I imagine sometimes you'll sit there and go, I'd really like to do like, say, a let's play of this game or whatever, or I'd like to make a video about this thing that is just something I care about, no one else will. That's got nothing to do with like tabletop gaming at all. And I guess there is that kind of thing of like you'd feel bad putting up on your channel sort of thing. Yeah,
I mean, it's weird that I've boxed myself into, well, I'm not boxed myself in, but if I look at my video actual content, like my lore videos will pull 5,000 or 6,000 views in a week, and most other videos won't even crack 1,000. So like people are basically tuned to me for one thing and one thing only, and that's for lore. And Remley says the same about his content. Like people watch his theories go crazy, and everything else just sort of ticks over.
Yeah, there's. I mean, it's like a good example is the last two videos we did were the 40k one on Deathwatch, which has done really well. I think that's at about 5,000 odd views in a few days, which is like fucking great.
Insane.
But the video before that, which took weeks to make, was the Nosferatu review, but that's got like 3,000 odd. I mean, it's just it's the nature of the beast, you know. I'm not being like salty about it, but there is that thing where you're like, It would be nice if the amount of effort you put into a video was translated directly into views. The only thing that does work on is the Rogue Trader videos we've done, because those take fucking like a month worth of solid work.
Yeah, because I did the piece of voice acting for that many weeks ago, and but it was worth it to see it. Actually, I tuned in like half just to see all the bullshit that was going to be in that. I was going to watch it anyway because Road Trader's fun, but I was like, what the hell have they made us do? I was actually interested because I recorded that voice line twice.
Yeah.
People wouldn't realize I actually recorded the voice line word for word, and then I did the one you saw in the video, which was my sort of exasperated, slightly being a dick version. So...
And yeah, I'm glad people do like the Nosferatu video, and I'm not saying it needs more views, because we're going to do more like that. And that's the thing, the channel is not all 40k, and it's never going to be, because we'll go nuts doing that, honestly. And especially from the video game front, there's literally only so many games.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at like how long it takes like big gaming channels to make those big full reviews, it can take them weeks, even for the big guys.
Yeah, I mean, the Nosferatu one was quite quick. I think that was mostly because of after doing the Rogue Trader one, which is literally months of months of the research and then writing and getting a script I was happy with, and then it was like I said, like a solid month of editing, of getting that solid, because I started writing that like straight after the first one.
Yeah.
And then, just that the editing for those just takes so fucking long. And of course, recording violence towards a Battenberg, that takes several years off your life, watching your wife nearly stab herself in the hand.
Oh dear.
Which I didn't notice at the time, but then I was watching the footage back, I was like, oh Jesus, that gets really close, doesn't it? I think Snipe might have been watching, and I think she shouted something from upstairs.
I was going to say, you went quiet. I was like, hang on, is my Discord just broken?
I shall go and see what's going on there. But anyway, yeah. So those are they are a lot of fun, and yeah, I do like doing the movie reviews. And what's really weird is that people seem really interested in us doing a review of Metropolis, which is fortunate, because that's the only other German expressionist movie from the 20s I've seen.
Convenience.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few other I mean to watch, like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, I hear is really good as well. So there's a few. Who knows? But anyway, Should probably wrap this up now anyway. It's been rambling for a bit. But it's
Yeah,
fun,
I mean,
but
to be honest, you can almost make a video out of this and just like take this bit of footage and make a highlights video and just lazy content.
Oh, the problem is like I can't. The editing software we've got doesn't accept like FLVs, so I have to like go through this whole hassle of re-encoding shit from streams.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the reason why I very rarely stream highlights, because it's just a real fucking hassle to do.
Yeah,
And
and that's why I still record using my my PC's photo program as opposed to my OBS, because I cannot be asked re-encoding it for my movie editor.
Oh, apparently Snipe was shouting at me because you can see the stream board, the one where it tells us how many streams we've done because we're trying to keep doing more. Okay, I'll tell you what. So she feels better. I'll actually. There we go. One stream that I just did. There you go. Is that right, darling? And I dropped the thing behind the monitor, but that's fine. I'll go get that later. But anyway, yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and thank you, Michael, for joining me as well. And yes, doing this weird pseudo, almost podcasty stream thing.
No, yeah, it was good fun. While it hasn't been as much production for my nuclear physics notes as I'd like, it's been good fun.
Well, we've distracted you from doing something that you're procrastinating over, so you're welcome.
Quite.
But no. So yeah, thanks a lot, everybody, and I will bid you good day. Good night.
Good night.